What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo! Yeah. This week, the sequel everyone's been waiting for, the movie that started the pandemic, there's finally a sequel. So that's how long it's been.
It took longer for the pandemic to end than for us to get a Sonic 2.
Yep.
Which is depressing.
I mean, to be fair, not even sure. You know, it's over mostly until it's not, and then it's back. So maybe.
Well, my point is the pandemic's not over, and we got a Sonic 2.
What if we get a brief respite right now when Sonic comes out, and then it kicks back up again, and then Sonic 3, another. So like we all huddle around the Sonic dates and use those as our kind of like, this is somehow the holy thing that stops the virus.
In thousands of years from now, people will chronicle the Sonic movies as like how time went by. There was, before Sonic the Hedgehog 1, then between 1 and 2, and that's how chroniclers will note the passage of time.
Well, guys, I think it's actually the opposite, because the pandemic flared up right after Sonic the movie came out. So maybe now it's about to get way worse. And it turns out this whole thing was a God's punishment for man's hubris in making a Sonic movie.
Ah, damn it, that's probably true.
I buy that.
Well, too bad. They got one, and they're probably going to make another, because I'm pretty sure this one made some money. And
they greenlit a third movie before this one even came out.
So yeah, stock up on masks and toilet paper again. You never know, but if the Sonic movies are any indication, we're in for a bumpy ride. Before that, you guys, how are you both doing? How's it going?
It's going well here. I will at some point have to talk about my movie theater experience, because I have one for the books, guys.
Wow.
It just, the hits keep on coming.
Did you meet another of my future wives?
Possibly. I guess it's going to depend on like how you feel about the situation that played out. I will say though, this one was more forgiving because it's a kids movie, right? So like, there's some things that can't be helped, but it's like, we'll get into it at some point. But yeah, it was a pretty good week overall. How about you, Diggins? How's your week?
My week's been all right, just I had a big birthday thing this past weekend.
You did have a big birthday thing. I was there.
Yeah. DJ was there. Everyone important to me was there.
Yeah, I decided not to go because I want to live to see Sonic 3. But I heard good things from just now.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it was a really nice time, actually. We went to this bar in Brooklyn that has also an indie arcade. Played some Killer Queen with a full roster, which was awesome.
Oh, love that game. That's my rec.
What's the game?
Killer Queen.
Is that like is it a Queen like game?
No, not at all.
it's
a game about bees.
Yeah, your rival like hives of bees trying to either gather 10 berries, get a snail into a goal, or kill the enemy queen. Those are the three different ways you can win. The thing about this game is it's an arcade game. It's like an arcade machine and everything. You can buy it on Switch, but it was originally an arcade game for 10 people.
Oh my god.
So it's this massive machine, and it's like really hard to actually have enough people to play it. I mean, you can have computers controlling members of your team, but to get a full roster of 10 is difficult. But we had enough people at the party that we just took over that machine and played a bunch of rounds, and it was awesome.
It was
nice.
Fantastic.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, as far as chit chat goes this week, there's really only one thing to talk about, you guys.
Yeah, what's that?
It's the news coming right out of Warner Brothers this week that Fantastic Crimes of Grindelwald 2 is probably going to be the last one of these unless a miracle happens and people start watching them. So wait, 3 movies in.
This one that is out is the last one?
Seems like it.
Like
so it's not, but
what Nando is alluding to is there are rumbles out of Warner Brothers that the executives are not happy with the performance of the past 2 movies, and unless this one does gangbusters, they're considering cutting the cord.
Yeah.
But won't by the end of this movie we be 3/5 the way through a story?
Yeah, but it's a story no one cares about, so...
Yeah, is it a story, we'll be 3/5 the way through something that will be retroactively decided to be a story. But yeah, it's as far as we're concerned now, it's just 3 separate movies.
Although,
I mean, I haven't seen the last one, but the first 2 for sure.
I'm stealing this observation from Jenny Nicholson, so all credit to her, but I wouldn't put it past Joanne to be like, I'll put up even more money. You guys don't even have to fund it. Just still make them.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, she's a real, what's the word?
Humanitarian?
Turf.
Good, great. Yeah, no, I don't even know what I would say. She's a great person, smart, and everyone likes her. And yeah, can't wait for more Joe movies about these characters and more Joe amusement rides and I don't know, stuff they sell, Lego sets. What do people buy these days of Harry Potter and all his nonsense?
The games, I guess. I think those are still hot.
Oh yeah, there's that game they're making where the slaves rebel and you have to quash the slave rebellion or something.
I was thinking of the Lego games, but yeah, good point. That game is allegedly coming out or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because Warner Brothers as a studio loves to cancel stuff. Like, they cancel they just say all the DC movies are going to make half of them. And then, like, you know, take something that performed okay, like Birds of Prey, and then don't make another one of it. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually don't do this. But then I doubt it will be the end of the Harry Potter verse there. I feel like they'll try something else after that, because that franchise will never die because we did something. I don't know, what did we do to deserve it? What was our original sin?
What did we do? I mean, I hate to blame, you know, all of J.K. Rowling's nonsense, but can we?
I don't want to blame it all on 9/11, but
yeah, it didn't help. No, it didn't help. Oh yeah. I mean, I think J.K. Rowling. Yeah, no, she stinks. She's a weirdo. She's a weirdo. But yeah, so we might be nearing the end of this franchise that no one wants to see end because the ending of it will be bad. Like if they make 2 more, it's gonna be bad. But
if they make one more, it's gonna be bad. It doesn't matter.
That's
how many
true too. Well, I do think, speaking of Jay Nicholson's points on this, I do love the idea that we are going to get a ship of Theseus of the Grindelwald movies, where like by the end all of the actors have been replaced because of stuff they've done. So the 5th one will be a completely different cast. That as an exercise, a kind of weird shit that could be kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean the movies aren't. I mean, I do kind of want to see. You know what? I do want to see how they write their way out of this one. How they write their way out of the wizards want to do a World War II and the good guys want to stop them. Like, or the opposite of that. Like,
the bad guys want to stop World War II.
Yeah.
And the good guys want to stop them from stopping it.
Like, I got to see how that plays out, honestly, because it's pretty insane.
I just want to know all about how Dumbledore fucks. Like, that's what I'm in here for.
Well, you don't go to China, then. You're never going to find out.
I was going to say
safe
that.
with them. Yeah. Did you see that, DJ?
I did not know.
They took out the 2 lines about how Dumbledore is gay, so you don't have to watch it. You don't have to find out about that in China, apparently, and probably a bunch of other places.
Oh,
personally,
my God.
I find it extremely telling that it's that easy to remove.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised there were 2 lines. I kind of expected it to all be glances and stuff, and characters going like I expected the Jungle Cruise version of this, where characters say like, "You know my secret," and then everyone goes, "Yeah, we know." So, and then but I don't know.
She never judged me for who I loved. Who did you love specifically? Don't worry about it.
Now that I'm thinking about it, is that can't be the secret of Dumbledore the movie is talking about, right? It's got to be some bullshit with his family. Because that'd be so funny if the Chinese version of the movie you just get to the end and you're like, what was his secret? I don't know. It seemed like everything about Dumbledore was above board on the table. Like, that man doesn't keep too many secrets, does he? I imagine it's something else, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out next week. Maybe we'll see. Probably. Who knows?
So we can confirm now we are doing The Secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah,
we'll probably, a podcast.
We'll try not to pay for it. We'll buy tickets to Sonic and sneak in or whatever. But we do want to save you from seeing it. The wonderful listener.
What if it turns out that The Secret of Dumbledore is that he was assigned female at birth. He's a trans man. Joe does a complete face turn, a total face turn. I'm okay with trans people now.
Or it'll be the opposite. Or Grindelwald is trying to transition and Dumbledore is like, keep your secret, Grindelwald. It's actually bad. And it's like, Grindelwald's like, but I meant transitioning to a new actor. Mads Mikkelsen's also done with these. And Dumbledore's like, never mind. This is a good secret. Next you're, I don't know, it's Colin Farrell again. Spin the wheel of actors around that age. Yeah, tick, tick, tick. The artist. You're the new Grindelwald. Probably free. But yeah, that would be great if that was the secret.
The Penguin, you're the new Grindelwald?
Oh, I meant that guy from The Artist. But the Penguin could be the new Grindelwald for sure. He would be a fun... Like, if they just had him in penguin makeup and pretended that was a different guy, that'd be pretty good. But that's probably not what they'll do. They'll probably just keep making him... We'll all have to suffer. But
yeah, we will all have to suffer.
Yeah, anyway, so we'll probably do it next week unless we change our minds. But who the hell knows? This week, though, we got a movie that we couldn't not do because it is climbing up the charts. And it's not written or produced, as far as we know, by a reprehensible person. So here we go.
I mean, probably produced at least, just because I feel like you can't become a movie producer without being a terrible person in general.
That's true.
You know, they're not going out and tweeting about it 24/7, so at least they know how to keep it quiet.
And standing their ground so hard, it's collapsing beneath them.
It's I mean, what if she literally like died on a hill? That was how her life ended. It was like she was just fighting off trans people, and then she'd that'd be pretty cool. Not if she died. That would be very sad, and no one should die. But if it was in an ironic way, maybe I like it. I don't know.
She never. I don't even want to go there. But yeah, she's a bad person. We're allowed to say that, right? That she's a bad person.
Yeah, she stinks. I didn't like the Harry Potter movies, so I don't like her for that. I've never really been a huge fan of this one.
And we did all of them.
All of them. They're mostly not very good.
Movies. Man,
you guys did all of them.
That's true. Diggins was not there.
I've never watched every Harry Potter movie. I've watched most of them.
Really? You should complete the set. Which ones haven't you seen?
So here's how it happened. I watched the first 3, and then I hated the third one so much I never saw the fourth one.
Really?
Okay.
Dipped back in for the 5th one, hated that one so much I never saw the 6th one, and then I watched the last 2.
So
yeah, you missed 4 and 6.
It's a very
I've read all the books, so I know what happens.
Yeah.
But I would say a lot of people say 4 is their favorite, or 3. Those two are usually tied.
I feel like if I
so down on 3.
I was a young lad at the time. I feel like if I went back and watched 3, I might appreciate it a little more. That one's directed by Alfonso Cuarón, right?
Sure. I don't know.
But that's how I felt at the time. And the trajectory I took because of it. The 5th one, I don't think I would go back and like, but also the 5th book is really bad, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3rd one is Cuarón, and it is the most interesting, I would say, just visually. But, I mean, yeah, it's a nonsense book about time travel. It doesn't really make any sense, or matter. And the actors, I don't know, they're kids. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, I don't know. They're not good. Those movies. I want to say it's nice, but it is like, I got no skin in the game. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, yeah, I don't know. They all stink, and she stinks. I don't have to think about well, if George Lucas was so bad, and we have to go fuck. We like those Star Wars things. But with this, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but even if it turns out that George Lucas sucks, he's not involved anymore,
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, now it's the holy Disney, the company that can do no wrong.
Bob Chapek's raisined ass.
Yeah.
But you said that, that's the thing. She's so high profile terrible, and also is very controlling of this franchise to the point where everything has to go through her. So it's like there's no conceivable way to be like, well, I'll just enjoy the Harry Potter stuff without Jo-Ann's influence. It's like, nah, it's always there, man.
That's true.
I mean, you could I think that most people are probably just kind of blind to it. They're just fans of the source material and really enjoy the source material and don't follow her politics. Like, I think that's how a lot of that usually goes, right?
I would say your average fan knows something's up with her. I've talked to people who aren't super plugged in on Twitter, and they're like, "What is she, like homophobic or something?" Like, I heard people complaining about something, and I was like, "Yeah, it's not quite that, but you're in the ballpark of the kind of thing she can have done versus like hitting a person with her car and pretending she didn't." So,
Whoa, but really coming from Matthew Broderick.
I was going to say, I was like, wasn't there that guy? Wasn't there a senator recently or something, or Secretary of State who like hit a guy with his car and was like, "What is this? Was this one of those deer that wears glasses?" I think, I don't know.
I think that was like North Dakota's Attorney General or South Dakota's, one of the two, one of the Dakotas.
Yeah, insane story. If anyone wants to look that up, definitely worth it. Speaking of people get hit with cars in movies, we got to talk about a movie where a couple people get hit with cars, and like that's a very frequent punchline in movies like this because it's fine. No, cars aren't that bad.
I've been hit by a car; it's totally fine.
Have you really?
Going full speed too for full comedic effect.
I was in a car, but yes.
Oh, well, I feel like that connotes something different. Like when I think of hit by a car, it's like I knew a cop who got grazed by a car. And it did not turn out well for the man who did it. Yeah,
they hate it when
DJ,
you do
we're
that.
talking about people getting hit by cars.
Wow.
I will say, as a person in New York City, first of all, two things about vehicular manslaughter. First one, really easy crime to get away with, I've read. In the Northeast, the laws are very protective of the driver, which is crazy.
Yeah, just be like, "I didn't see him." And they're like, "Well, there's nothing we can do."
Yeah. Second one, I feel like as a person who grew up around New York City and in cities generally, I have this weird like attitude towards cars where like if I'm walking down the street and there's a crossing and it's kind of a dodgy crossing, I'll usually try it. Not like dodgy, but like if it's like there's still a car coming, I'll go like, well, if it's going this fast, it probably is going to hit us. But I do think you get too confident at certain points, especially in the city, where it's like if everybody's walking down the street and crossing, you go, well, I guess I can cross. As if like you're standing there like, this bus can't hit all five of us. We'll be safe. And that's just not how it works. I don't know why I think that, because cars are pretty good at hitting. They really go. So, I mean, not in this movie, but like usually. Yeah, because we're talking about, what is it, just Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Sonic 2?
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Okay, nice. No stupid thing. Knuckles' Revenge or Eggman's Revenge or whatever. I like that.
And it's got the two has the little tails, just like on the actual Sonic 2 video game. Box.
Yeah. So
this movie, remembered it was based off a video game. So that was fun.
That's true. This movie is much more like, hey, Sonic is a character and from a video game, and what if we did some video game stuff?
I think we're like one movie away from Sonic playing the Sonic game and being like, they made a game about me, isn't this fun? In the movie. Like in Uncharted when they play Crash Bandicoot.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But it'd be like if they played Uncharted in Uncharted.
It would be like if
they played, might as well have.
Crash Bandicoot might as well be Uncharted. They're very similar. Just a lot of running away from stuff. It's secret brothers and sisters and whatever. It's great.
So I can't think of a Sonic the Hedgehog clone that is a game that is like that, but different. Like but if they were playing that video game, and it's like, this game sucks. What a dumb premise for a video game.
Oh yeah.
What if he was playing Mario and was like, this guy's lame. Go.
Yeah, Italians. Ew. He probably doesn't even like chili dogs. I don't like mustache guys. They're my enemies.
He probably likes chili on his spaghetti. Like he's from Cincinnati.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's weird.
Ugh.
Wow.
I mean, maybe it's good, actually. I don't know. I feel like those two things are things I'm fine with separately, but they may not mix well.
Who knows? I've never been to Cincinnati.
I have. I just didn't know that was a thing.
Speaking of characters that haven't been to Cincinnati, as far as we know, Sonic the Hedgehog, West Coast guy, I guess.
He's a Seattle-based superhero, just like
I think
like those guys that do real fighting, Phoenix whatever or something, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a Seattle thing or maybe Portland. I don't remember. Are there any superheroes?
I think you'll find that he's actually based in Montana, but he runs over to Seattle to do some superheroing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's like his like city, right?
That's true.
Like,
I guess Blue Thunder or whatever is a...
Blue Justice.
Blue Justice is a largely Seattle-based superhero. And he's doing great stuff. So, who is the IMDb's been this week? DJ Diggins?
Diggins?
I believe I am. I won last week's competition because I talked about Morbius's blood disease.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll have to remember to talk about Sonic's blood disease in this movie. That'll assure me the win.
So, this week...
how does this work?
We play a little game every week called the IMDb, B as in spelling bee, where I have pulled up a summary from the website IMDb. Now, not a lot of people know this, but once a week, the people of IMDb send a capsule up into space, and it stays up there for about 3 months. They lose all track of it. Like they put electronic tracking on it, but it disappears. It vanishes into the inky blackness of space. But 3 months later, that capsule can be dug up in a field in Nebraska. And within that capsule are written the summaries for every movie that has come out in the past week. So, yeah. So I have one of those summaries now, the summary that was in the capsule for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I'm going to need both DJ and Nando to give me their best guess at what that summary is. Now, DJ, as last week's loser, you are entitled to choose whether or not you go first.
I'm going to go first.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear it.
All right. I'm going to go with, after Dr. Robotnik's surprising return, Sonic the Hedgehog must team up with Tails, a two-tailed flying fox, in order to defeat Eggman and his newfound ally, Knuckles the Echidna, whose goal is to protect the Master Emerald.
Ooh, good one.
Okay.
Got Master Emerald in there. All right. I actually think I got a good shot at this. And it's not that dissimilar from DJ's, although I do think some of the words are going to be a little different. When the evil Dr. Robotnik returns from space, I guess, with a new ally, Knuckles the Echidna Warrior, Sonic needs to team up with Miles Tails Prower, an inventor from another dimension, to save the world from to find the Master Emerald and save the world.
Ooh. You both did all right there. I think I have to give it to Nando, though, because Nando, you basically got the first half perfect.
Nice. I did want to call him evil. I felt really good about that.
That's actually, that's one of the words you got wrong, but you got the phrasing of it almost perfect, and there were several sections where the words were exactly right.
Beautiful.
Bananas.
So beautiful. I mean, that's what I love about children's movies. It's like A, B, C plot. You just, plug in the guys.
Yeah. DJ, you did all right. So, good effort. Good hustle out there.
I have to just take the L due to Nando's perfect game. I understand.
I mean, it's one of the great IMDb B as in spelling bee performances of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Roger, you could double check that, but I feel like this is
the actual
as close
summary,
to,
as dug up from the capsule in Nebraska, is when the manic Dr. Robotnik returns to Earth with a new ally, Knuckles the Echidna.
Wow, very good.
Sonic and his new friend Tails is all that stands in their way.
No Master Emerald, huh? Surprising.
No Master Gemerald.
Very surprising.
I feel like the conjugation there is a little weird. Sonic and his new friend Tails are all that stand in the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct there. I think it should be. I don't think and his new friend Tails is like a separate clause that isn't affecting the verb. I think it should be. There's two things. It should be are, but what do I know about grammar?
I'll also say I think that sentence is missing a clause or something. Because the subject of the sentence or the object of the sentence seems to be Robotnik, I guess, and the evil guys.
Well, but when is a clause. So when the manic Dr. Robotnik returns to Earth with a new ally is its own separate clause, and then Sonic and his new friend Tails. Sonic is the subject of the sentence.
So I guess
Sonic
like there
and
feels
DC
like there's
Frontiers.
something missing. Either stand in his way, their way, or stand in the way between, Robotnik and whatever. Because it does feel like it just kind of drops off a cliff momentum wise. It's a great summary because I nailed it, but yeah, it's got a very strange ring to it. The aliens gotta step their game up, or whoever makes
Yeah, I was
those.
going to say, are they being paid to bury these capsules?
Nobody said aliens, okay? Nobody said the word aliens. It's very important.
It could be moles that the whole thing is they fired up into space. They think it's aliens. It comes back down, lands in Nebraska, and then the moles in Nebraska just get it, open it up, write something, close it up, and then people go, well, it must have happened in space, but really it's moles.
Could be.
It's probably it.
They say we know less and more about our own Earth than we know about the entire universe.
Oh, very true.
Marvel does need to start hinting about Mole Man for the upcoming Fantastic Four movie.
That's true. Are there any moles in the Sonic franchise?
Mr.
Rossetti?
Probably in the comics. I don't think in any of the games.
Every woodland critter was his friend, but
right.
I can't think of any of the games.
That's true.
Like even Cream made it into like Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, if anything, I could see moles being like a background animal that you free at one point. That just you bomb somebody and then they turn into that. But
Diggins, we're gonna actually me.
Well, yeah, Cream makes a cameo in Sonic Adventure, but she's not really in it.
Listen, she's in it. All right, who's taking care of those chows? All right, it's her.
What is she? Is she a rabbit?
Yeah, she's a rabbit.
Okay.
I imagine we'll talk about this when we talk about future movies, but I wonder how far down we have to get to like Big the cat and Cream the rabbit.
I think like one more movie. I think
really. All right.
Yeah, I think one of them's coming.
Well, did you see? You saw the post-credit scene, right, DJ?
Of course, we will discuss. I'm sure.
Yeah,
all right.
It's gonna be interesting. Since I go first, I get to say I think so. I forget what I said about the first one. It was probably like, hey, a lot of good stuff here. I think as a movie, it's a little bit generic as being just kind of like a road movie with father and son, and it felt the first one felt a lot like any of those like James Marsden and a little CGI animal that causes trouble movies. It had a lot of good stuff in it, and a lot of the things that were like, you could tell they were on track with like Eggman or whatever. And like by the end, he had his mustache and he was on mushrooms, and he finally kind of gotten the right look for his tech so that it actually looked like kind of the Eggman thing. So I was hoping that this movie, because the first one ended where the first movie should start, that this would be the Sonic movie. And I think it pretty much is. I think this movie is pretty solid. Like I don't know, maybe like my favorite movie of the year in terms of like these tentpole action-y kind of things. I don't know really what would stand in its way. I guess Batman. So it's not quite better than Batman. But like about as good as you can ask for with one of these. I think the action was pretty solid. I thought it was pretty funny. I thought the new characters were all good. I think Jim Carrey was great. And I think all the nonsense with like the sister and stuff still worked for me, even though it was so unnecessary that I don't know. I dug this. I think it was pretty good. And as a person who has a passing knowledge of Sonic games and has played a couple of them, but isn't like a humongous fan, I think it was about as like faithful to any of these games as any video game movie has been, in a way that's not like stupid. Like they got all the visuals, but not like in a fan servicey way. Robotnik just got the robots and stuff. It was great. That was good. What about you, DJ? What did you think of this?
I think my thoughts pretty much echo yours, Nando. I think we talked about this when we did the first Sonic the Hedgehog, but I'm a pretty big stan of Sonic the Hedgehog in general. I like the games, the to some extent the comics. Actually, when I was a teenager, I really enjoyed the comics, but that was kind of fleeting. When you're a kid. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it had more of an identity of what it was. It also felt more like a kid's movie, which, like, I appreciated in terms of, well, at least if you're going to be a kid's movie with, like, your silly little fart jokes, at least, like, that's part of your identity and, like, what you're going for. Like, it felt consistent, and it did feel like a Sonic movie, not just some kind of weird movie with Sonic in it. And I think it's because, I don't know what notes they got, but, yeah, so much of it was, like, Robotnik made more sense, and it played into a lot of like the technology, like you mentioned, and it was everything short of like Robotnik trying to capture woodland critters to like make his machines.
Gotta save something for Sonic 3 or whatever if he's still kicking.
But even calling the coffee shop the Mean Bean, which I think was a nod to Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean machine, which was a Tetris-like video game.
Excuse you, DJ. I think you'll find that was a American reskin of Puyo Puyo.
God damn it, Diggins. But sure. So yeah, like those little touches. I cried when he sucked the little oxygen bubble when he was in the water. I'm like, that's the thing he does.
Yeah.
Fucking love that. But yeah, I just thought this movie had a lot of heart and was good. I think there were some extraneous parts, not like the sister stuff. Like the sister stuff I was fine with. The Siberia scene needs to totally be written out of this movie. Even think for a kids movie, the 6-year-olds in the movie theater were rolling their eyes at the Siberia scene. They're like, we don't like Uptown Funk. This isn't the Bruno song. I don't know what you think we're into.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, what if it was though? What if they had that foresight? And they were like, I think this is going to be the hot shit. Lynn, get in here and write the similar but not quite the same song that you write for all these movies.
Oh yeah, then the kids would have been all over it.
If we don't have the Siberia scene, how are we supposed to have our TikTok moment?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
well, I mean, wasn't there? Oh my God, wasn't there 2 instances of flossing in this movie or something? Didn't the character floss
Robotnik
before that? Yeah,
and then I think during the dance scene, one of them did. Yeah,
there was a lot of that.
We talked about this years ago. I forget which movie, but we're like, is this the last movie with flossing in it? I don't know if it was Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Could have been this. I mean, Sonic flossed in Sonic 1.
Yeah, Sonic 1 has flossing. We might have mentioned it then, honestly.
Maybe in
Great, so
5 years.
The Sonic movie will always use this.
Yeah, they're going to keep that torch going. Good for them. I might like it by the 3rd one. It's like, yeah, fucking Sonic flossed, yeah. Avengers assemble, everybody stands up and cheers. Very good.
Listen, we got to keep flossing alive because it's the only dance move I can do.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of them in this movie. I'm sure you could pick one that's just as cool. You can make 10 of yourself, right?
Yeah,
it's part of your thing.
Not a lot of people know this, but I'm a multiple man mutant. Yeah.
Yeah, so
cool.
You got to start doing that, and then you don't have to be really as impressive. I mean, you do because Tails still fucking kills it, but. Yeah. Anyway, DJ, go on.
Yeah. No, and that was mostly it. And to that point, actually, the one other thing I'll add on is that I think with having Sonic with a bunch of other people and no clear villain, because I think Robotnik was kind of tacked on at the end as a clear villain in the first movie. I think that really hindered it. But having Sonic and Tails, opposite Knuckles and Robotnik, it just made for a better flow of movie. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Despite and we could talk about it at some point, less than stellar movie theater experience.
I can't wait to hear it. Yeah, we'll get to it after
whenever we talk
review.
about it, we'll talk about it. But I did like the movie. So yeah.
What about you, Diggins? What did you think of Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Honestly, my thoughts very much mirror you guys' own. The first movie is a movie I overall like, but definitely has some problems and issues, and we talked all about this before. You go listen to our Sonic the Hedgehog episode if you want to know how we felt about Sonic the Hedgehog. The important thing here is that I watched this one and I was like, that was a solid movie. It doesn't really have the same big problems I felt like the first one did. It's still recognizably a sequel to that first movie, but they emphasize more the video game characters and the video gamey aspects of it, and it's got a very solid arc to it. Some of the jokes are pretty funny. I mean, it's definitely a kid's movie. If you don't enjoy things that are aimed squarely at kids, you're probably not going to have a good time. But as far as that goes, it's a pretty solid one. So I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. DJ, please tell us about your theater experience.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so there were a lot of kids. And that's not the problem, right? If I'm going to a kids movie, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be kids here. What was weird about it is Michelle and I went to an 8 o'clock showing on a Monday, which I thought would minimalize the whole kid aspect of it. We sat next to 3 teenagers who were and this is just a bias of mine. When I sit next to teenagers, I'm like, fuck, they're going to be teenagers. But they were fine. They were fine. So I want to say 5 minutes before the movie starts, so we're in trailers, this cavalcade of like 5 moms and 8 kids like coming to the movie and sitting in the row behind us. The one woman, I don't know what she sprayed. It must have been like Lysol, just like torched all the seats behind us. You could like smell it, and it's like, lady, what the fuck are you doing? Like what's going on? So the kids are there. There's a baby there, and like that's different from kids. Like you don't bring a baby to a movie. That's just messed up. Like come on. And then at some point, so like this definitely was like one kid's idea because one kid was like really into the movie. Like they were calling stuff out in the movie, like that they were like, oh my God, that's that thing. And like whatever, like I don't mind that shit. But like the baby crying, and then at one point there was a kid like on a tablet playing some like Dora the Explorer game, and I'm like, this is just like crazy right now. It's like how is this? How is this like what happened? Because this is like very unique, right? Like I'm okay with kids being in a movie theater for a kids movie, not a problem. But like babies, get that shit out of here. And like, why you got a kid playing on a tablet? Like what's going on? This is the problem with the youths in America, guys. I'm going after Gen Alpha or whatever. It's these damn youths.
No, is that what we're calling him?
Yeah, sure. Like what? Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha? Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're Alpha. Because we've just like, at one point, one of them was X, and then we just went through the letters, and that's all they were. They're the letters. Because I think even millennials are Gen Y, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think that's different, isn't it?
No, I think millennials is like a shorthand term for Generation Y.
I think the way it works now is, or, I mean, generations are fake to begin with, but
that's
the way the way it works now is it starts with the letter. You got X, Y, Z, and then sometimes a new name sticks. So for millennials, we started as Gen Y, and then eventually someone came up with the word millennials, and that stuck as the new nickname for us. Just like Gen Z and Zoomers.
Right, well, that's true.
I was going to say, it's so much more fun for Bill Maher to say millennials than Generation Y. So, yeah.
He'd also forget because he's a doddering old fool. So it would be like Generation Z, Y, X, Y, Z's LGBT. That's what he would say.
That alphabet soup with these fucking kids.
Nando, you watch way too much Bill Maher because that sounded like exactly something he would say.
I watched him this week. I'll tell you what. He had on someone who I think is probably some sort of political hack, and then someone else, and she wrote a book, and she seemed smart, and she made him look like such a fool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a very good guest. He also had David Mamet on, the playwright, who is way more conservative than I thought. I did not know that was part of his deal. So great. Yeah. Thank you, Bill, for telling me that. I mean, he agreed with him the whole time, mostly, but that was the information that I got from the horrible show. So,
and that
no
woman,
American
that
Buffalo
woman author's name that embarrassed Bill Maher was J.K. Rowling. Oh,
yep,
no.
She got me. She tricked me. Oh, damn it. That was the secret of Dumbledore, that Jo has been writing political stuff under a different name than the one where she wrote bad fiction. Remember that? She had a different name and wrote like The Silent Apprentice or some shit. No one liked it. Anyway.
She wrote detective novels.
Yeah. So this movie, I think we're all in pretty much agreement. It was pretty good. The kids at DJ's Theater. It's the tablets are where they really lose me. The babies, I kind of get because it's like maybe you couldn't find the sitter canceled. You can't leave the baby in the house. Yeah. But with the tablets, it's like you gotta at least lay down the law enough to get your kid to not play with tablet in the thing. Like,
and like, why do you think that's good? Right? Like, I don't know, man. It's these kids. There's just they're a generation that are being ruined.
I mean, DJ, you're the one that's going to maybe have children. Like, I mean, I don't know about me and Diggins, but I have no plans for children. I was going to say, like, you're not the only one necessarily, but probably. So maybe you're just going to give your kid the tablet and then just, you're going to see this as an option at some point and go, oh, my God, this is the best way to ruin everybody else's lives, but shut my kid up for 10 minutes. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, I want to be all high and mighty, but I think my kid's going to be on a steady diet of tablet just because I'm like, well, it fucking works. So, you deal with it.
Oh, yeah. My brother-in-law and my sister are like... They try not to, but sometimes it's a matter of survival. You got to give the kid the thing. You got to give him the device.
But what did they do before devices? What did our parents do with us?
Cry.
Hit us. No. they gave us other toys that were not bright, so they didn't ruin everybody's movie theater experience. I think that's where it really becomes a problem. Like, if you gave me a doll or something or whatever, I could play with that in the movie theater and be, a little bit loud maybe. But with the tablet, it's just so bright.
It was full sound on too. That was the other.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That is, I'm getting the usher for that. I mean, I'm trying to talk to the person, but I'm gonna assume they're not gonna play along. But yeah, that's a deal breaker for me.
Well,
yeah,
less than solid movie experience. Hopefully, my Fantastic Beasts movie experience will just be crackerjack.
Probably you can get an empty theater
just
full of old people.
Caramel popcorn.
Yeah, and just like probably some new elf, or something in that movie who loves being a servant. Good old kindly Crackerjack. Thank you, Crackerjack. Now go back into your little box where you live. Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, I love getting your tea. I'm going to just go wet myself in this box. Those movies are not good. Oh, J.K. Rowling wishes she was that clever. I don't know. We're going to get autoflagellation or whatever it's called in one of these eventually. If that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, we'll save that all for next week. I'm sure we'll find great stuff to talk about in that smart movie.
Yeah,
sure.
if you're like, they spent a lot of this one talking about Harry Potter, they're not going to have enough good jokes for next week. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we'll have so many fucking jokes.
Here's something about this movie, and we'll talk about...
Yeah.
How was your theater? Anything exciting, Diggins, on your end?
No, mine was fine. I mean, there was like 4 other people in the theater because I went in the middle of the afternoon.
That's what you got to do. When did you go, DJ?
It was a Monday evening.
Oh, yeah. You got to go while the kids are in school. That's the play.
Why would kids be there 8 o'clock at night? Like, that just seems bananas.
Well, when else would they be there? I guess, like, they could be there at, like,
weekends.
6, but...
Weekends.
Yeah. Well, sure, but... Yeah.
Next time, I guess.
The movie is doing very well. We'll get a third one. It's so weird. This has to be the best video game movie, right? I think at just all of its things that it's doing.
What would be better?
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's in a category all its own. Or sorry, it's in like a class all its own.
Did you see Werewolves Within? Because that's technically a video game movie, but I feel like you shouldn't even count it because it just takes the concept of the game Werewolf and makes a movie.
Yeah, I think that's true. The only other one I'd say is even close is like, the original Tomb Raider movies were a hit and they're pretty competent action movies, but I mean, this is better than that at like just being something interesting and different and really being a video game thing. So I can't imagine. I'm sure there's something we're forgetting. I mean, Detective Pikachu, that one's up there as being like a competent video game movie. But yeah, this one really, really rules. Like at all that stuff. Thank God. Can you imagine if we were still in the little baby human teeth and calf muscle Sonic era? They never changed it.
Is that the greatest thing the internet has ever done in terms of like a bullying campaign and just like getting the masses together to do some actual good?
I think it broke everybody's brain, everybody but the Sonic people's brain in a negative way. Because then they, like, rewrote Rise of Skywalker to make it bad or whatever, even though that was before it. But, well, I guess it wouldn't have been before the backlash of Sonic. But, yeah, I mean, this movie, like, it is the biggest, like, there's no way that movie would have worked. It would have been Cats. Would have made fun of it for years. But now it's cute and good. The design is so good. Like, it's terrific.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, like, as I was, like, kind of watching this movie, there were parts where, like, James Marsden's on the boat on the lake with him, and it's like James Marsden's doing a pretty good job for talking to a tennis ball. Like, it's not like Ben Schwartz is sitting in the boat with him, right? I'm like, there's a lot of effects in here, and it's mostly good, but also it's, like, just competent enough to be like, wow, I'm not hating this entire experience. So they found like a good blend of, having the like furry characters be main characters, people can talk to them and act well. I don't know how Jim Carrey does it, man. For me, he's the MVP of this movie. Like Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik is like clear, like Hall of Fame all-star performance. Just like, is Jim Carrey and also Robotnik? Because like, I don't know. When I think of like Robotnik now, I'm gonna think of Jim Carrey first because he doesn't have like a personality in video games. He's just a big man who makes robots, and it's like, I'll get you, Sonic.
Somebody never played the later Sonic games.
Like which later? I think Adventure 2, and then I don't know, Colors. I think I played Colors.
But
like, what am I missing?
Colors.
Right?
Colors, Unleashed,
Never
06.
Never played 06, but I'm aware of the memes. All right, maybe that's like uncharitable, but like I just think Jim Carrey is like really good at this. Like, I guess for me personally, though, I'll just be like, yeah, that's Dr. Robotnik.
Well, and I think for me, Sonic 1's Jim Carrey Robotnik felt like Jim Carrey, but this one does feel like Robotnik or like a separate character that has some sort of like it's still very much Jim Carrey, but it's at least like enough evil Robotnikiness of it that I do think that this character works way better than it did in the last one, and it's like a lot of this movie is the Robotnik show, which works really well.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I like Knuckles a lot. I thought Idris Elba was weird.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved the design of him. I loved his big fisted stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's my MVP, but I liked him like way more than I kind of thought I would, maybe.
So for me, I'm torn on the Knuckles experience because I feel like, I don't know. So, okay, I got one or two theories. As a quick aside, do you guys remember like the Sonic redesigns for whatever like the newest Sonic game was, and Knuckles was like this big jacked basketball player?
Yeah, Sonic
skipped
Boom.
leg day, yeah, the Sonic Boom redesigns.
That was it. They like finally found the perfect balance between like that and traditional Knuckles. It's like this Knuckles, but his fists are really big. I really liked it. Felt very Sonic Adventure to me. Anyway, I thought that Idris Elba was good, and the Knuckles character for like the first half of the movie that he's in, for the first portion, is very good. It's like this stirred, intimidating character, kind of gives you his deal. Wow, Sonic, you're such a goofball and an idiot on this guy. But there's this weird turn where like they turn him into like just a complete fish out of water, and it felt very like reminded me of like Starfire from the Teen Titans animated movie. That was like the first connection point in my head. Like, I cannot wait to eat the ice cream. And it's like, not only did it feel like the character changed, but like the voice changed. And I'm like, did they get Idris Elba in like 2 different days, and on one day he was on like a gummy? Because you could do the voice he had throughout the whole movie for like what is this ice cream you speak of? Like, you can do that. But this was just like, nah, man, we're just gonna like have him be really airheaded and just this like lighter voice. Like, was the director just like, all right, Idra, love what you're doing. Idra. All right, Idris, love what you're doing so far with the voice, but can you take it into more of like a kind of airy, fluffier voice, kind of take some of the gruff out of it? And it's just weird that that's where the character went like 3/4 of the way through the movie. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this version of Knuckles overall. I see where you're coming from. I feel like that's more because spoilers for the movie, guys. A twist no one could possibly have seen coming. It's because he becomes a heroic character who teams up with Sonic at the end. And so like they're trying to find ways to make him more likable instead of intimidating. And so I feel like if you're trying to thread that needle, making him kind of dumb and kind of like self-serious in a way that's funny is a good way to maintain his attitude from earlier, so he's not just doing complete personality shift, but portraying it in a way that's more child-friendly, I guess.
That's fair.
I thought Knuckles was a pretty funny character in this movie, honestly, which I was not expecting because of that fish out of water, and like I said, kind of not so bright. They don't overdo it. He's not like a moron, but there's certain moments where he just doesn't seem to get things in a way that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I liked him. I gotta say, the effects for me were very hit or miss. Where like when human characters were on screen with Sonic characters, besides Jim Carrey, who for whatever reason is always natural with them, I was like, there were some times where I was like, this is so obviously a green screen, so obviously like you acting around a tennis ball, and it just didn't look good to me. But this movie neatly avoids that problem by mostly not having the human characters be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
honestly.
God. Sonic has a not henchman, a friend or like a sidekick who he could bounce off of that isn't James Marsden. Not that I didn't like James Marsden, I think he was fine, but yeah, it's a big difference. I will say Knuckles for me felt like I understand what DJ's saying, and I think he did kind of go on like a MCU journey that Drax went on, where in the beginning he was a self-serious warrior that would sometimes slip up to like Infinity War where he is just a joke machine, because I do think there was I agree at the very end there was that like little thing where it's like, we're playing baseball, and he'd be like, I will hit the base of the ball, and it's like, you gotta know that that's not what he just said, dude. Like, you're going out of your way to be annoying. But I did I liked self-serious Warrior Knuckles probably more, and I think there were moments in the finale where he did stuff like that, where he was like, you're very brave and you are going to die heroically, like that culture shock and like fish out of wateriness worked way more for me than the like ice of the cream stuff was. None of that really. I don't know. I do feel like it's very Starfire, but I mean, I liked his voice, and I just like the look of him, and I think the look of it's just so crazy that him, Tails, and Sonic all look good. Like, and they look good because they don't look just like cartoon characters. I think the textures usually work for me too. The way that Sonic has like kind of a three-dimensional hair shape thing, as opposed to just is a cartoon character. It really works.
You don't want that plastic sheen that he usually has?
Yeah. It's funny, because he has, like, a little bit of, like, glow to him, and, like, it's great, too, how vibrant he is, and all of them are. And Eggman, too, for the most part, although he gets this weird little costume at the end, but I like that he's got red on and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good because, you know, it hits those like cartoon elements, right? Because at one point Sonic was like a Saturday morning cartoon, and I feel like
he
it
was
knew
3 Saturday morning cartoons, DJ.
Apologies. Also, me saying that Eggman has no personality, and when I go back and think about it, I'm like, the cartoon had a lot of personality. They should get those 2 villains, like the chicken and like the weird small green robot guy.
Oh, you mean Scratch and Grounder?
They should get Scratch and Grounder. Yeah, get them in there. Like, get Stone out of here. Like, put in Scratch and Grounder. Like,
yeah.
Or if you want to go more modern Eggman, you could get Orbot and Cubot in here.
I guess. I'm old school, but. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the movie leaned into it. I don't know. Do you think, like, Jim Carrey just has the ability to act in front of a tennis ball with, like, precision? I don't know. Did you guys not like the James Marsden boat scene? I'm not saying they were all killer, but I'm like, I liked that one.
I didn't mind it.
It was a fine scene. I think that one maybe looked a little bit better, but when he was, like, in the house with them, I was like, ugh,
that was bad.
Yeah, when they, like, bent down to, like, give him a hug at the wedding when he was leaving, and it was like, that's... Like, it's fine, rough. But it is, I mean, it's got to be tough with him, too, because it's like, I know on set they have a stand-in that's just like a little statue of him, so that you can kind of remember how tall he's supposed to be, but it's like, it's weird as opposed to, like, you know, I don't know, Thanos or Groot, where you can just kind of go, oh, it's a guy, and he's this big. You got to go like, okay, so Sonic is this tall, which is kind of his height, and his eyes are kind of here, and it's just a very strange, like... I don't know, figure. So I understand why that can be tough. But I did
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I did like James Marsden in general and the whole family as much as I could for characters that didn't need to be in this at all. I think by the third one, we'll probably have none of them, and that will be great. But I don't know, because they stick around, so what's going to stop them?
And also, Sonic has acknowledged them as his parents.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird direction for me. A little bit, but it's fine. It's not like a huge part of it.
Yeah, I don't know why we needed that arc realized where he's like, you're not my dad. By the end of the movie, it's like, you're my dad.
Yep.
Not a thing I was worried about, but no, whatever.
I kind of assumed he was his dad from the last one, but I guess not.
I mean, I get that he is serving a father-like figure role for Sonic, but I don't know, for him to like literally call him dad, and for him and Maddie is his wife to be like, Sonic is our child. I'm like, does it need to be this explicit? Because it feels weird.
It sounds like people that call their cats their children and stuff. My little son, like Sonic. And it's like, I guess he is like, how old is the Sonic supposed to be? If you had to guess.
Well, they say he's still a kid. If I were to guess, like to 12.
Yeah, I guess that's
12.
right.
I mean,
12,
I
13,
think
somewhere in that zone. I mean,
I think they really tried
canonically, Sonic is 15.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's older than Tails, gotta be, I think.
Yeah.
But how old is Knuckles? Like, whatever Idris Elba's real age is?
Well,
Yeah,
no, I
Knuckles
think
feels so much more like an adult than Sonic
Yeah.
and Tails do.
But
so
it's
weird
implied
that he's.
there's a-
It's weird that he's like
Yeah.
a kid with them at the end. I mean,
But
yes,
it's implied that they're like a similar age, right? Because he's like, well, you and I both lost everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was also a child around the same age as Sonic when the thing with the owl happened. So he is the
That we
same
all
age as
definitely
Sonic,
remembered.
but he feels like such an adult. It's weird.
Speaking of Sonic. All right, so this movie, I'm a little curious about the start of this movie.
Yeah.
So Eggman, Robotnik, whatever, is on the planet he was on before.
Yep, the mushroom.
Planet.
Mushroom Planet, yep. Doing stuff, science and coffee. So, okay, coffee. Is that just something that was in the last one and is his thing? Or is that a... Okay.
No,
Because it's
not,
so
there's
much
no-
of his personality in this.
There's no like game or comic or show that I'm aware of where he was big into coffee. But if you remember from last movie, his assistant always made like the perfect latte for him, and that was
Yeah.
what he always wanted. So it's just, I don't know, it's something they put in this movie for him, these movies for him. I don't know why.
It's really great.
People love this man. They're like, oh, he's got so much personality because the actor's not really bringing much to the screen, so I need more for him just to get him,
I mean, that is a very...
Jim Carrey, famously understated performance in this movie.
Yeah. Although, yeah, that is a very, like, silly millennials. Like, they like their crazy coffee. That's what they like with their cappuccino and their foam and stuff. So maybe that's
And
where
their
it came from.
steamed Austrian goat milk.
And goats.
Yeah,
there it
exactly.
is.
But he is interrupted. Well, I mean, he makes this invention which blasts out a lot of power to kind of signal to something that he's there. And through a portal comes what?
Three human beings in weird costumes.
What are they?
I would... Echidna tribesman?
But they're not echidnas. They're clearly people.
Yeah, I couldn't
It's
figure
true.
that out. Because I feel like the last time we saw the echidnas, like we did see them briefly in Sonic 1, and it was just a bunch of echidnas.
Right.
But the way it kind of seems like the movie has set it up, it's like every tribe gets one super animal kind of that is their guy. Because there also weren't any other Sonics in the last movie.
Right.
Well, so Knuckles later in the movie implies that all of the other echidnas that he lived with disappeared the same day Longclaw did, his owl mom.
That's
So,
true.
I guess Knuckles is the only echidna left.
But then, because I haven't watched the first movie in a while, didn't they kill Longclaw?
Well, we never see what happens. She throws Sonic through
Yeah.
a ring and it disappears, and that's the last we see of her.
Sure.
Still be alive. so
But
come
doesn't
back.
it seem like an like they antagonize them? Like it's not, because from what I kind of would assume, you would be like, oh, well, there's a third party that did this.
Right. That's
But
usually how
it-
these go.
Yeah, but it does seem like there was just some war where, like, the day the Echidnas decided to wipe out all the Sonics or whatever, and then Longclaw got most of them, and that's kind of where things, left off for them. But yeah, they got people now.
Well, because the owls fought off Ken Pender's original creation, Enerjack. That
What is that?
This is a joke only for me and maybe two other people listening. Basically, in the Sonic comics, there's this one writer, Ken Penders, who really went off and added a bunch of bullshit mythology to Knuckles and the Echidnas that was insane, and eventually sued Sega to get the rights to all the stuff he made up about the Echidnas. So he currently owns the rights to all the Echidna characters he made up, but not Knuckles.
What's he
and
doing with it? Is he making other games?
He's making his own comic about Knuckles' daughter, Lara Sue, or whatever.
Cool, man. Do what you gotta do.
But basically, he was tweeting oh, they stole all my ideas for this movie. My Echidna warrior that uses the Master Emerald for power, Enerjack. And it's no, that's not what
This guy
happens.
sounds like a champ. No, I love
can't
it.
wait to watch that movie.
Go get it.
Anyway,
Hopefully they could
that was
buy
my-
him.
that was just my brief detour into the deep Sonic lore.
Well, maybe in 4 or 5 years we'll get Sonic Far From Home, and then there'll be a shot where Knuckles and then Enerjack and some other guy that's like that and a different thing all come together and we all cry. Or he just like slowly walks through a portal casually into someone's house. Hold for applause. It's Enerjack, everyone. People are like, I think his movies were bad, and everyone's like, we like him anyway. It's great. The movie, so the people, I don't know what their deal is. I was very confused by that. This is the only thing that confused me. They also had like helmets and stuff that's in it, like we couldn't see their faces, but they like had like something going on where it's like they have like a tribe design thing. They
were dressed like the echidnas were dressed in the first movie when we briefly saw them. Although, for whatever reason, Knuckles just goes buck naked.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess he could use clothes, but does not. Are those gloves his clothes, or are they his fingers?
Great question.
Yeah, that's been a burning one. Do we ever see any of these characters without them on, outside of these movies and the games or anything? Oh my gosh, did we talk about this with Sonic the first time we did this? Because I'm getting like weird flashbacks.
Well, I feel like with Sonic it's a little bit more like it wouldn't be as weird if he had fingers like that, because it's just like his fingers look kind of like gloves. But with Sonic, it's like, or with Knuckles, it's like, does he have a finger, just one big finger and then a thumb, or does he have little fingers in there?
And just two big spike knuckles.
Yeah, or the Knuckles part of it. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, they have to be, right? Because he's Knuckles. It's like Wolverine.
Some call him Knuckles. Unlike Sonic, he don't chuckle. He'd rather flex his muscles.
Speaking of flexing muscles, how about James Marsden?
Handsome man.
Know, he had some gains. Like, I know I'm like jumping around, but like, I don't know, seems relevant. Later when they're like playing volleyball and they're trying to make him to be like with the puny guy.
Oh yeah.
The husband and like all like the other guys, and like the husband's like, hey man, you gotta keep it in there, and he flexes and like this guy's jacked. But then like James Marsden flexes and like he's got something going on. It wasn't like noodle arms. I'm like, I know they're trying to connote wimpy, but that's not what's coming off here.
Do you think
this is odd?
Do you think that like people in superhero movies, James Marsden did an intense workout regimen to get ready for the Sonic movie?
Right?
That would be great.
Well, he's like gonna be Cyclops again, right?
Oh, for sure. Yep. He's gonna jump out of the multiverse of madness and just also get killed by fucking Wanda. This time, get kissed and then sucked all the life out of him.
Yeah, he'll just die like a chump again.
Yeah, it's a good movie. And he's good in it. I liked him in this. I think he's fine. He's nice. He's good person. He's the best.
Yeah, it's he for me, he's like in the movie for the exact amount of time that he should be. No more, no less. And yeah, there were a lot of improvements from the last movie to this movie. That was one of them. They got rid of the Spawn Con. I know they made the one Olive Garden joke.
I don't know about that.
DJ, have you ever been to the Four Seasons Oahu? I think
I've
you gotta
heard
relax with your life there.
I've heard it's the best. Like, just better than anything anywhere else you can go.
Yeah, go have a Mai Tai, DJ.
I didn't even think about that one.
And if while you're there, you can drive around in that big old truck from the end of the movie, that would probably also make your day. Because I've heard nothing but good things about that. Also, Olive Garden. Love that.
That seems self-referential.
Love the callback to Olive Garden. Oh, yeah.
He just said the Olive Garden guy, not like, oh, man, it's the Olive Garden guy, our favorite restaurant. When you're here, your family.
And even if they did, I would be
Oahu,
like, go for it.
Concede.
That reminds me of the other movie. But yeah, the Oahu Four Seasons is insane. But it's not as bad as like Zillow, where they're just looking at Zillow.com.
Yeah.
Going, what a good website.
That one they probably filmed on location in Hawaii, and that's how they got to be free.
Yeah. And, I mean, looks great. Nice little hotel or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. I know I was jumping around. Just those things popped out. I had like some notes and nitpicks, but, so then the movie, like, actually begins. Well, not, like, we go to Earth. Knuckles comes out and says hi to Robotnik. And
that's right.
Knuckles is like mad at Eggman because like you shouldn't be here or whatever.
Or rather, like, you know how he got Sonic's quill because he's been after Sonic.
Right. And then Robotnik's like, "Hey, you help me, I help you. We're friends now." Wasn't that easy? Didn't we all know how this was going to go?
Yeah, we talked about this. That would have been, like Diggins said, it would have been a good post-credits scene for the last one, but
yeah,
they just did it in this one instead.
I will say, Props to the movie, though. I feel like they didn't drag down too much in that stuff. They're like, we're here, we're doing this thing, you all know the deal, welcome. So,
it's a brisk pace, you know? We don't over-explain anything. It's just, Knuckles is like, I want Sonic. Eggman's like, I know where Sonic is, and then boom, we're there.
Yeah.
Sonic Boom, exactly.
Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom. Well, this is also, I think, where we get, or is this, when do we find out about the Master Emerald? Is that in this scene or later?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it's when they attack and Tails shows up.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Because Knuckles mentions it when he's fighting Sonic, and Robotnik goes, ooh, a thing I could steal.
Yep.
I get to realize my evil arc.
Interesting, by the way, that we jumped right to Master Emerald. It'd be like if Guardians 1 was about the Infinity Gauntlet or something. Feels strange.
I'll give them this, and we can talk about more of the implications at the end of the movie. I think if you're just going to have a MacGuffin, instead of introducing, like, the 7 Dragon Balls and being like, there's 7 of these Dragon Balls, if you assemble them all, you make a wish, blah, 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 blah. Just have there be one MacGuffin, lie about its creation, because just for I don't think this is ever true, but I don't ever think the Chaos Emeralds make up the Master Emerald. They are 2 distinct different things.
I thought they did. Oh, no, you're right. They are. Are they?
Yeah, because typically Knuckles' thing is the Master Emerald.
Right.
And sometimes it breaks because it's made of paper mache, and he has to find all the pieces, because that's his lot in life, is to find all these damn pieces of the shards of the Master Emerald. Whereas the Chaos Emeralds are this, like, other power source that Sonic uses to be all cool and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think the way this movie did it, honestly, is fine. Like, this movie isn't trying to be the ultimate Sonic thing. It's like, yeah, there's 7 Chaos Emeralds, and they make up the Master Emerald. Sure, shut up, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
I wonder, what do you think?
It seems like the Chaos Emeralds become separate from the Master Emerald, but the Master Emerald still works?
I'm not sure about that.
I couldn't figure that out.
Because it's like the Chaos Emeralds fly into the sky at the end of the movie, and then Knuckles takes up all the shards of the Master Emerald and, like, Diamond presses them back into Emerald form.
But I couldn't figure out if that was because the Chaos Emeralds, like, were released or whatever. Because that would make zero sense. I don't think the movie cares.
No, it doesn't.
The movie's like, yeah, whatever, shut up. Which, like, fine movie, I guess. Like, if you're going to carry this forward, you kind of need the Chaos Emeralds and Master Emerald to be, like, different. Like, okay, like, jumping around, but doesn't matter. The next movie is definitely going to be a chase for, like, the Chaos Emeralds, right?
I don't know.
Like, that has to be what the next one of these are. Is that
I think what it's going to be is Sonic Adventure 2 style. A certain other character shows up, and then the authorities are like, "Why that hedgehog? That must be Sonic. We've got to get him."
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's gonna have to run down San Francisco and shit. It's gonna be so dope.
Yeah.
He's got to roll around at the speed of sound.
He's
got places to go. Got to follow his rainbow.
That's right. And then at the end, he'll fight a big fucking, lizard in space or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, the end of that game is bananas. It's a crazy end of a game.
And we'll get flashbacks to that other hedgehog's friendship with a human girl.
Yeah, a little bit more than friendship, if you ask me.
No, she's like 6.
Oh, you're talking about that one. I was talking about the time Sonic kissed the human girl. That's different than what you're... I know what you're talking about.
We got a while before we get to Princess Elise.
I mean, you think so, maybe, but also, who knows? That could be... We could go through it, because she's just in another dimension, right? Or is she... Where's she from?
It's not clear. I think she's just on Earth.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it, but I think there's a lot of directions they could go in future ones of these. In terms of like big bads or big problems that are, the big universal stakes.
Right.
And it's going to be interesting. But yeah, in this one we have the Master Emerald and Chaos Emeralds and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I like the intro. I like Sonic in this. Yeah, Destination Wedding. That's fun. Because it's at the Four Seasons.
Honestly, it was a really good way to separate Sonic from the humans. That they won't be able to repeat every time, but for a one-time solution, perfect. Man, Destination Wedding.
I will say also the whole wedding setup did provide my favorite joke in the entire movie.
Ooh,
which was
I'm wondering. I feel like we're on the same page, but I don't remember what it is.
It involves the big twist with the wedding. So I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes.
we're here.
I know
we're
exactly
jumping all
what
around
you're
just like
talking
Sonic
about.
pinballs.
All right.
Let's just talk about it.
So they decided that they needed to add in the Guardian Units of Nations, or G.U.N.
Crazy that they added that.
The military organization that shows up in a bunch of Sonic games.
Were they always that in this?
Yeah.
Like in the first Sonic movie, they were that.
They never say that, I don't think.
No.
Okay, but it's the same guy, so you kind of got to assume the organization. Okay, that's interesting.
I think he even says in this movie that, like, after the Sonic incident, they formed this
yeah.
task force.
That's right. They do say that.
But yeah, so it turns out the entire wedding was a setup to capture Sonic, which would have been a dismal failure if Robotnik hadn't happened to come back, because they were not going to bring Sonic to this wedding.
Right? Very bad intelligence by the people putting this together. Like, awful.
Yeah.
They got super lucky that their plan worked out at all.
Do you think?
What
do you
is
think
their
that the
plan
fiance,
even?
Do you think the fiance was, like, really pushing to be like, on the invitations, we should really say, pets, children, furry blue aliens you happen to have, everyone's allowed to come, all welcome.
Maybe that was their classic mistake, though. They were like, but not sons, because he's not their son. We'll put not sons specifically. But then he is their son, so it's like a mistake he makes. But
Fucking loopholes.
Yeah.
Should
have done the research.
What did they want at them in that moment? What did the villain or the gun? What were they after?
Just to capture Sonic? Just Sonic.
Yeah.
In general, they wanted Sonic.
They know where he lives.
Yeah, well,
Why did they do it that way?
Because Operation Catfish is just so much better, Nando.
Do you think they just all wanted to go to Hawaii on company dime?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that.
They
actually.
Adam
That's pretty
Sandler
good.
this.
Yeah, they were having fun. They wanted to do volleyball. They wanted to do all that stuff. They wanted to just like have a bachelor party as part of it. I respect them a lot now. That was a great move.
Like, play volleyball.
Yeah, just have fun.
Like,
Drink on the job.
Stay at the Four Seasons Oahu, the best hotel in Hawaii.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is definitely what happens though at their office.
I just picture that being, so guys, we gotta capture Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, where we know who's housing him is this house in Montana. But then the guy's the fiance, wait, guys, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I've kind of been seeing this girl, and she's the sister-in-law to the guy who, like, oversees Sonic's kind of dead. So what I'll do is I'll start dating her, eventually marry her. We'll do a destination wedding in Hawaii where we could, like, set everything up, have everything, go down. The guys here will act as my boys, right? And for the next 2 years, we will plan Operation Catfish, and we'll plan to fake marry this woman. So eventually, at the wedding, we can all bust out our tasers and capture Sonic.
It's a good plan.
I would think the plan would be, if you're going to do all this with the wedding to get the trip to Hawaii, you'd have other agents in Montana who, when Sonic is alone, move in on him, no collateral damage.
Right?
I would think that would be the plan. But no, it turns out everyone in the wedding who's not on Maddie's sister's side of the family is a gun agent, including the priest who opens up his Bible and shows a gun.
I love that.
And I was like,
was that your favorite joke?
That was my favorite joke in the movie.
I thought you were gonna say where she's like, who was who is it on this? Is the florist a secret agent? Is the DJ a secret agent? Oh my God! Is the woman who oh my God! Oh my God!
Shaved my nothing.
Blank. Yeah. Was she a secret agent? Yeah. Like,
I did like the physical humor of the gun.
I'm not a fan typically of the like, oh, we almost said a bad thing in this kid's movie kind of humor.
There were 2 shit jokes in like the first 5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, we're really stacking these early, huh?
There was also one point, and I know that's not what happened because it wasn't, but where I was like, Tails could have said fuck there. He didn't. I don't remember where it was, but it was like, that fucking Eggman would have been the line. It was like, that dang Eggman. And I was like, yeah,
Let
boy.
Tails say fuck.
Fuck, yeah. Whatever. He's had a rough life. I don't know where the fuck he comes from, by the way. What is his tribe?
Like an orphan.
Was he part of the
Is he an
Sonic
orphan?
tribe?
I guess he's from the same planet as Sonic and Knuckles. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's typically an orphan because Sonic always like takes him in.
Yeah.
It depends, but we don't typically get a family origin for Tails, but we also don't typically get one for Sonic either.
There was one in the cartoon, I remember, because there was an episode where Scratch and Grounder pretend to be Tails' parents and like take him back.
Oh, yeah. I do kind of remember
that's
this.
all
I kind of
fake.
watched this cartoon.
Because they're all... You're talking about Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, by the way. Not to be confused with Sonic Underground or Sonic Sat-Am.
I remember that one, too.
Right, but like, it is the like origin that like Sonic just finds Tails. Like, that is part of it. It's like, I just found you, little buddy.
And also, like, Tails bought it, kind of. Or, like, the idea wasn't so crazy that it's like, well, obviously my parents are dead, so you're not them. It was like, maybe they're out there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
Where was I going with this?
In this movie, no need for parents.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
the guy.
I think the thing with the cops is just so strange because it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense for how they're doing it, but also, like, the why they're doing it. Like, Sonic is not illegal, right? I guess his vigilante stuff is illegal. But, like, at the end of the last movie, they're like, hey, yeah, hang out. I guess you'll have fun.
Is he an illegal alien? Like not an alien like from space, an alien like, you know, how the U.S. hates those guys.
Well, I don't think he's a citizen, right? Because I don't think we let aliens be citizens.
But I assumed he was, like, at the end, I thought the, like, handshake, wink, wink kind of thing with the other general was like, you guys deal with this. It's fine. Like, I get it. You guys have a Sonic. Like, kind of like what Transformers usually do, where it's like, this Transformers seem to be cool with this weird family. So we're just not going to bother with it. But I guess maybe his superheroing and stuff is what makes him go like, we got to do something about this kid. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
they don't bring it up though.
Yeah, if they'd said something like, we would have left you alone, but Sonic just going out and zooming around and being a menace, we had to step in.
Imagine J. Jonah Jameson, what he would say about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my god.
He's a blue menace.
Yeah.
He's going around our streets.
Like, he's trying to sully the good name of Dr. Ivo Robotnik, who's trying to do all kinds of cool stuff with his wonderful inventions.
He would be so
He turned my rabbit into a big robot or something, and I like that. Always.
Amy Rose, I need pictures of Spider-Man. I need Sonic the Hedgehog. Excuse me.
That's true. She is a photographer. Oh, man.
And that's why she's always chasing him. Oh, guys, we figured it out. We figured out Sonic 3.
It's what they're going to do in the next one, for sure. Yeah, I liked it. Where are we going with this? Oh, what do you think of superhero Sonic, by the way? Blue Justice.
Whatever. I will say, I didn't mind that the movie chose to open with, like, an action set piece. Like, I thought it kind of worked. Like, all right, let's something with, you know, very dynamic, using Sonic's, like quickness and speed and...
I do think so. Nando, I believe you made a video about this at the time about how super speed is never super speed. I was gonna
say that.
I feel like
time of the bottle problem.
Yeah, this movie really didn't do any of that. Like, super speed is just time stop, and actually just had him use super speed.
I do.
They
think
listened to you, Nando.
They
listened to Nando v Movies.
They just Google any feedback whatsoever on their Sonic movie and go like, they don't like the costume. All right, we're gonna change it. They don't want this guy in it anymore. He's not in it anymore. They want to hear from the Oceanside, Malibu, whatever. That's where it is now. But yeah, there was that one scene where he's doing stuff fast, but there is still enough movement that it's not just like, hey, instead of being fast, we're gonna do something else. So. I was very glad about that. I thought the opening chase thingy was fine. I like, you know what I like? I like that Sonic's doing things. Like, I could see a movie like this start where he's just at home playing paddleball or something in the attic. I like that this Sonic has wants and needs. It's a good way to do it, you know?
I like that he travels to a faraway city by foot instead of by car. I thought that was a much needed improvement.
Yeah. I guess he's learned how to read a map between now and then.
That's true, yeah. And he just...
I like this. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, he still has the rings, but are they single-use rings?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Is there a
I
finite supply?
I think they come back. I think like once they shrink, they stop and shrink back down. You can just pick them up.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Then that's the most interesting thing Sonic can do for sure is teleport whatever he wants through those rings.
His dad doesn't have to pay for airfare to Hawaii. That's incredible.
Yeah. Wait, to the Oahu Four Seasons?
Yeah, it's airfare on whatever United Airlines is probably really expensive.
I mean, I'm sure that is the problem with getting an airline sponsor, is you have to say positive things about the airline. I guess Turkish Airlines is the only one that I've ever seen do it right, and they actually don't fly on the plane. They just get on the plane and then leave. But, like, yeah, you have to make the experience for a normal person seem like something you'd ever want to do in your life that doesn't cost way too much money. Although Sonic even got in a boarding joke of, like, yeah, fucking going to the airport sucks, doesn't it? So good for him. I thought Sonic
taking everyone's money.
I thought Sonic was pretty funny in this movie too. I liked most of his little
agree.
jokes. It worked for me. And I bet it worked for kids.
They got in Ben Schwartz's The Worst.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, they let him put a little bit of his flair on it. That's like part of the Ben Schwartz cinematic universe is that he just says that phrase.
I love it. I wonder if he says it in the DuckTales. Probably. He should definitely do that.
At some point. We'll look out for it.
I think Ben Schwartz is very good in this. Like,
I agree.
He's very talented.
I feel like he toned it down a little bit, like just enough so that the character is less annoying.
Yeah.
It is crazy how much better this movie is than the first one, right? Like, it's there's never this much improvement. Like, Spider-Man 2 is amazing, but, like, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1 is still, like, really good. But, like, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 was bad, and this one's, like, actually really good.
Yeah, the problem
I won't
with this
dispute
usually...
you saying Sonic 1 is bad. I liked things about Sonic 1.
Yeah.
Sure, but I think I don't know, revisionist history. I feel like at the time, I was much lower on it in terms of, like, the quality of this movie. Like, maybe average at best. But, like, I don't know.
I think,
like a lot to not like.
The problem is, if Sonic was bad, they probably wouldn't make a second one, and it would just go down as one bad movie. So you have to be in that sweet spot of, like, kids still like it, or it's sold toys, or as an IP, they still think it's got another shot. And I agree with Diggins. I don't think this one was, like, Sonic was nearly in the same spot. The only one of these I can think of that did almost exactly this move is the G.I. Joe movies, where they made one that was fine to bad, and then they just really did the second one completely differently. Killed all the guys and went like, we're going to make it kind of the way we should have the first time. And the second one, while not great, is like a pretty solid G.I. Joe movie. And then they made Snake Eyes, and then they fucked it all up. So we are gonna get like that Rouge the Bad Solo movie in like 10 years that everyone's gonna hate. But it's just because
I hope Rouge the Bat's in the next one. It would make sense with what they're going for.
Yeah, and I think we need, love interests and stuff. Like, and she is, if I remember correctly, Knuckles' girlfriend, right? Kind of. Yeah. Or his like Catwoman. Yeah.
She is a thief and sometimes in search of the shards, so their paths crossed, and
also secretly one of the top agents of G.U.N.
Right.
That's right.
Stupid.
Can't trust anybody. Any romantic partner you're with now is probably secretly an agent of G.U.N, and you should open all of their books, find their badge and their gun, and just throw them out on the streets. That's what we've learned. It is the weirdest twist in this movie.
Here's a question for you guys. So, I think you made the correct point, Nando, that this movie should have been the first movie. They made, like, a zero movie to establish everything when we didn't need it at all.
Yeah.
Uncharted did...
Oh, Uncharted's another one that stinks.
Yeah, here's where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Uncharted did the exact same thing. Is there any chance the second Uncharted movie, which should have been the first Uncharted movie, is good? Because I think we all agreed that movie was bad.
How much money did that one make? Do we think it's enough of a success that Universal will give them a second one, or whoever makes those? I guess Sony probably.
I just feel like it's like such a sunk cost that why would they not? Right? They're like, let's give it another swing, or look at like a Sonic. Well, the second one did so much better. There's probably a market for this. COVID ? Question mark. So let's try. Did they greenlight Uncharted 2 yet?
I don't know if they have, but it totally could, because I think the problem. The big difference is we kind of knew watching Sonic 1 that the bones of this thing were solid. It's just the outside, like the paneling on the outside and like the, the rugs that were shag carpet. Like, we needed to get rid of those, but if we ripped it up, we just kept Ben Schwartz, the whole family thing, that design, and Jim Carrey. You got something that could work, and then you build a good movie around that. I don't think that is true of Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland and, you know, whatever else that movie had in it. But I do think Mark Wahlberg is too busy with Father Stu, the Stewiverse or whatever, to do any other movies, so we'll probably never see him again. He's going to fall into that rabbit hole.
There's nothing concrete, but it did make a decent amount of money, a fair bit past its budget, and the chairman of Sony Pictures described Uncharted as a new film franchise for Sony. So,
okay, well, there it is.
I think it could be good. I do think they should recast Mark Wahlberg, but I think, God, I don't know though.
You know, I mean, listen, they just have to take their cues from Sonic 2 when it briefly turned into Uncharted.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like the other thing with Uncharted, that didn't work, where this doesn't have quite nearly as bad of a problem, is like the action in Uncharted didn't look good either. Whereas with this one, in the first one, the Sonicking looked pretty good. He there was that one chase where there were two chases. There's one at the end that starts in the beginning of the movie that was pretty good. And then there's also the one car chase where they're fighting like Eggman and like some sort of tank in the first one that I was like, that's pretty good. So if you take that and do exciting things with it, then this could work. But yeah, I feel like Uncharted, if anything, like it took a really good shot at all of that and missed. Yeah. But they'll probably try. Lucky us.
Maybe
I really want them.
If the Uncharted franchise goes on long enough, we'll finally get what we've long been denied: Uncharted, the kart racing Uncharted.
Oh, I was gonna say we could get a Crash or not Crash. Well, we could get Crash, but we could get a Sonic Uncharted, like, you know, they meet. We could get a video game movie crossover movie. They all step out of little rings and portals and go, I don't know, kill Antonio Banderas, who definitely survives the movie because he just gets his throat slashed. Because there's no blood.
There's no blood.
No blood.
Unlike
whatsoever.
in Sonic 2, covered in blood.
Yeah, it's a bloodbath.
That should be the name of the movie.
What did you guys think of? We talked about James Marsden. What did you think of the fiance? What did you say her name was? Or not fiance. Well, wait. Did they get married in the last one?
They didn't get married in the last one. They were already married.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the wife. What did you think of her? Diggins, what was her name?
Maddie is the character's name. Tika Sumpter is the actress's name.
Yeah. She's fine.
She's fine. Hey, so one thing I want to note, since you bring her up, when her and her sister are sneaking around in their dresses, saving James Marsden, Sonic and Tails, and confronting the fiance. First of all, Maddie, clearly barefoot, probably because she doesn't want to be walking around in heels.
Smart.
But
yeah, that makes sense.
So there's the scene where the sister confronts her fiance, who turned out to be an agent of G.U.N, and crashes the golf cart and steps out of it in her big heels.
Love
and
that.
whatnot.
Oh my God, what a shot.
Except every single shot of her walking around besides that one, you can clearly tell she's wearing white sneakers.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I mean, you know, for time to time, sometimes the brides will change from shoes to shoes. So maybe
no, but I mean, like the shot changes of her getting out of the golf cart, and you see when she's walking, she has the white sneakers on.
Ah, nice. Listen, I love that for her. I'm happy that she has some sort of convertible foot that can be whatever she needs at the time. Because I will say, I would say, even if we're calling Jim Carrey the MVP, I think her whole thing is like most improved. I don't know why, but she worked for me way more in this one. That's fair. I cannot explain it.
I did like the joke when he first shows up at the Four Seasons Oahu, the greatest hotel in Hawaii. And he's talking to the fiance, not the fake out bit, but afterwards when he's like, you know, she doesn't like you, right? Like, she hates you. And I was like, just the deadpan way he was saying it. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was cute. I also liked her reaction of like, oh my God, there's another little Sonic thing now. What the fuck is going on? Like, I thought that was fun. I think it is interesting that we have two different like flavors of straight man in this movie. We have this James Marsden straight man who just goes with it and is almost like pretending to be a fourth Sonic in this, like as if he just fits right in. And then we have her to actually react to the crazy stuff that goes on. So
Yeah.
I appreciated that. And yeah, I loved the shot where she gets out of the golf cart. It was very good. I just
It's a
can't.
barracuda, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, interesting choice.
Very interesting choice, because it's about like it's something. It's one of those songs that's also about sex, right? Or something?
I
I don't know. I remember from Charlie's Angels when Lucy Liu comes out as sexy teacher or whatever, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty serious.
No, I think Barracuda is about eating all of Marlin's family at the start of Finding Nemo.
Oh, shoot. That's brutal. That makes sense, though, because this movie is about family. Much like a certain other movie that gets kind of name-checked in this, which is also bizarre.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pop culture references in this movie that I was like, I don't know if we needed that, because in 10 years, that's not going to make any sense. But
Yeah, and like even for the kids now, are they like, yeah, cool?
that's true.
We know all about Vin Diesel and The Rock beefing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's strange. And I also think, and I mean, we're, old enough to have kids. Like, I think this movie has a good balance of, like, the movie is fun for kids, but something about, like, the slapstick humor or just, like, Jim Carrey's goofing around is fun enough for an adult that I don't think you need to slip in all the other jokes. Like, I think this works on its own.
Yeah.
As a movie that kids and adults can both get something out of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What do we think of Tails, by the way? We haven't really talked about Tails. Tails shows up and it's just like, I'm Tails. You saw me in the last one in a little bit. So we're doing that scene again. Who played that one? Sally something, I think is her name.
Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who is the actual voice actress for Tails in the video games for the past, 9 years.
Yeah.
Good job. They should do that more often.
Well, yes and no, because then we lose whatever the fuck Idris Elba was doing, and I do love that.
Yeah.
We do it once out of every two. We got one real one, and then one crazy stunt casting.
I'll take that trade.
Yeah, I think that's
I would
fine.
gladly take that trade.
I think it did help to have her there because it was like, I don't know, the Tails character feels like it's a little underwritten. Like, just kind of pops up out of nowhere and it's like, I'm your pal now and I'm going to help you. And I feel like having someone who is like really comfortable with that character and can make the lines sound natural really helped kind of ease Tails into the film in a way that the writing really didn't.
Yeah.
I love how much of I don't know, I got a lot of Linus from Charlie Brown vibes, like only Sonic the Hedgehog could take a thing like Christmas and turn it into a problem. But on the other side, it's like only Sonic the Hedgehog could find a way to get a plane and then crash it and then rebuild it and go ahead again. Oh, good old Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
Tails was the biggest Sonic stan.
Yeah, it was interesting too. I think the way that they did the tail looked pretty good. I thought that might look stupid. Not like I thought it looked stupid, but I mean, considering the design they gave us for Sonic originally, there's certain things that come up where you're like, oh, they might fuck that up. But the tail looked good. I liked how much of Tails was there. Like, he was an inventor, and he could fly, and he was a kid, kind of like younger.
A pilot.
That
cool.
came up. Yeah. What is with the duplication stuff? Is that a Tails power I don't know about?
Technology is his power, Nando.
Yeah, but does he use that in the games or something?
No, I think they made
could point to
for
an
this
instance.
movie. I think they're just holograms. It's not like he's multiple manning himself.
Sure. That makes that is true. I couldn't figure out if it was, I don't know, something. The only thing they didn't do that I wanted from Tails was some sort of big stupid walker, but they got to save things for the second one.
Yeah, that'll be Robotnik versus Tails in the next movie.
Yeah.
Shadow versus Sonic.
And Knuckles versus Rouge.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Also, Knuckles.
Yeah.
Oh no, what were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say we'll also get Big the Cat in E109. What were you gonna say, Nando?
I was gonna say that Knuckles is missing a power, though. I want to say in this movie, right? Yeah,
the fist
power of floating.
Yeah, he can't glide the same way I kind of expected. There was a point where
that's like a signature thing.
Oh, that gliding's gonna come in real handy right now, and then he didn't do it, and he just kind of has Sonic powers also, mostly, but with punch instead. But he can be speedy and all that jazz.
I mean, they're all generally fast, but Sonic is the fastest boy.
Yeah. I guess it just, I was kind of hopeful, and still am, or like, but not am, but like was that there would be a bigger difference between like Knuckles and Sonic, where Knuckles would be like slow, like he wouldn't even be fast at all. So that if a certain other character ever popped up, he would seem like the kind of mirror opposite of Sonic, or like the Bizarro of Sonic. Whereas I feel like a kid could see this and go, oh, right, Knuckles, the evil Sonic. Because to a certain extent, Sonic villains, we're all kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again, whether it's Metal Sonic or a certain other guy, or probably other ones I don't know that much about. Like, I know Generations had a couple of new villains, right? Like all kinds of like weird monster guys. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I mean, probably that game was forever ago. But yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know. But I do wish he could fly as well, because that is just one of his things in those awful flying levels he's in. Maybe search for Chaos Emeralds. Yeah, I don't know. What'd you think of Sonic bumping around at home, being a little scamp?
No, throwing his little dance party.
Yeah.
So this was interesting, right? And I think I was going to mention this earlier when it's like, what age is Sonic? So this was like a thing for like, okay, Sonic's a kid, because this is what a kid would do when he's left at home. But what I found interesting about like a lot of this like filler stuff in general, so the movie clocks in about 2 hours, which is fine. But like this movie could easily be the tight 90 that I bleed for. And I don't know, like were scenes like this, like the Siberia scene, like were they like really necessary?
So
I don't know.
I think
DJ,
the Siberia
we can't
scene
possibly cut the TikTok dances.
And I think my thing with the Siberia scene, because I had this thought too, but I was like, it almost kind of, like it was kind of a character thing enough that I didn't mind it being in the movie as like we need some point where Tails and Sonic bond. This bit in the beginning, I kind of could see being cut, but it is, you know, it's short enough that I didn't really mind it too much.
I get it, right?
I agree with you about Siberia, Nando. I think it is important that we have that moment of like Sonic and Tails spending some time by themselves and bonding over something. Because otherwise it's just like they become friends instantly for no reason, which is a thing I've complained about in other movies.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, like did it have to be a dance party? Probably not. But again, that's the rules in movies, so what are you gonna do? That'd be so funny if Doctor Strange goes to like a TikTok dimension for a second. It's like everyone.
Like the scene. Sorry.
That's it.
I was gonna say the scene in general is funny, right? It's like, oh, we have to challenge them to like whatever Russian word, and it's like, oh, is that a fight? Oh my god, it's a fucking dance.
I did love when the big dude who's leading the Russian dance crew gets up and is all ready to go in his velour tracksuit, takes off his shirt, and he's got a tattoo of himself standing in the exact pose on his chest.
Yeah. That
got me.
Yes. That's some like Conor McGregor shit, man. That was awesome. Also, that guy fucking yoked. What was the casting call for that? That man was a behemoth.
Got to be a professional breakdancer or something, right? Or something like that. That just also happens to be big.
Built like a brick shithouse, man. That was fucking. Oof.
Tell us more, DJ.
I was very impressed. I was impressed by the fiance. I was impressed by James Marsden, but mostly the Siberian dancer. I was very impressed.
A lot of hunks all around in this movie.
Yeah.
Unusually hunky movie.
I don't mean to sexualize a kid's movie, but look, this is what my eyes are showing me, all right?
You're not sexualizing the kids, so yeah.
You got the fiance, you've got James Marsden, you've got this Russian guy, you've got Knuckles, all hunks.
Yep. Exactly.
Just a movie full of studs. What can I say?
Speaking of, I don't even know how I'd relate this, but we're at the point where Sonic is. Remember when? There's so many little nods. You know how you can relate this? This is the scene also where Sonic makes the pose right during his dance.
Yes.
Where he does that like finger gunsy whatever it is that he does on the box art or whatever.
Yeah.
What was everyone's favorite little Sonic the like tidbit kind of thing, or I don't want to say it's not a cameo, but a little Easter egg.
I did that the coffee shop was the Mean Bean Machine.
That's a good deep cut. That like it's for the real fans out there. The
real fans who know that Mean Bean Machine is a reskinned Puyo Puyo.
Exactly.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know it was even a game. I just thought that was like a name. I could have been convinced that was a franchise that they got paid to have in the movie. Like, if you go to the Oahu
like
resort,
Gregory's coffee.
yeah, go right outside to the Mean Bean machine. You get a nice blue Sonic coffee or something.
Oh, that's
Why doesn't
great.
Sonic drink coffee? You'd figure he's the jittery one, right?
That would be a good scene, right? Where
Yeah,
it's
just-
like, oh, let me try this coffee. Whoa, 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 whoa!
Hey, like Fry in Futurama just gets even more superpowers. But yeah,
Yeah,
they haven't
he-
worked out the sponsorship yet, so I'm just saving it.
That was the first Time Stoppers or whatever. Was the
Yeah.
first episode.
What about you, DJ? What
do
was
you
your
mean
favorite
Clock
bit of little
Stoppers?
stuff?
The movie Clock Stoppers?
Whatever Nando references in his movie.
Clock Stoppers was, I think, before that. You're right.
What's the one that you referenced in that video, Nando?
Clock Stoppers.
Is it? Okay, my fault.
Yeah, I've
Clock Stoppers.
that movie came out probably in the 2000s. It was terrible. I watched it. It's got French Stewart. Remember him? But you guys, wait, DJ, what was your favorite thing?
Right. I would say, so if I may use two, I really did love when he drank the air bubble when he was underwater. I thought that was so great.
Oh yeah, the whole
But
water
also-
thing was great. As like Sonic's only weakness, I thought that was a fun
Yeah.
little detail in general.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And like also my heart like soared when they're in the big Robotnik robot at the end and the guy's like, I read the manual, and it was like the old Sega Genesis style manual. I like cried. That was so good.
That was
That was
great.
good.
That was
also-
really good.
I just appreciated that there was an egg robo at all because I
Yeah.
Yeah.
was fully convinced that wasn't going to happen.
I like the the design, everything they went with him was very good.
They did a really good job of not like spoiling a lot of the big tent poles of this movie, like in the trailer, like much like Homecoming. I wonder if they're learning that like if you save that stuff for the movie, it gives them
Well, DJ, somebody didn't get a kid's meal at McDonald's.
I also did see that bit in a trailer, although I don't think it was in any except for the last one. So I think the balance was better than usual.
Bobby.
I'm going to say my favorite little Sonic thing. Well, first of all, I think all the noises in this were great. Everybody's little signature noises were all very good.
Agreed.
I loved when Sonic did Ferris Bueller. Remember this? When he rigged up a dummy to trick his dad into thinking he was still home, and the dummy was the Sonic drawing. That was pretty fun.
They snuck that drawing in again.
Was that on purpose?
I mean,
was that on purpose?
I
That it was
assume
the Sonic
so.
drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Sonic drawing was in the first one too, remember?
It's true.
When was it in the first
It was
one?
what the Bigfoot hunter he saw.
Yeah.
He drew
the
like a
crazy
picture of
guy in
Sonic.
town who thinks that Sonic is real. That's how he draws him.
Yeah.
Oh, is Sonic going to be in every single...
He's going to be the bad guy in the next one, probably. Or like the real bad guy that they all have to team up to kill. What if, I guess if we hadn't seen a certain thing later in the movie, that would be so funny if that was what it looked like, actually. They're just like, listen, we've been killing these. We wanted to do a bad design, and we got this. It's the evil one.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I thought that whole scene was pretty funny. And I did like the farting also in that scene as like, I don't know, there was something about the balance of things like that as not being, I think the movie had a good amount of awareness to like, this is kind of a stupid little thing. That's not very funny, but it's funny if it's not if it is stupid that it's, I don't know. It had it just had good balance for stuff like that.
It wasn't that the fart joke was funny. It was that he was doing like a bad fart joke as part of the bit. And
and he was kind of overdoing it because the machine was
Yes.
broken and stuff like that. Yeah. I also think the other thing that I think is interesting, speaking of balance, I do think the movie has a good balance in terms of like general sincerity when it comes to the animal children, those three characters and how they interact. Even though Sonic is really like talky, he wasn't like sarcastic. It was very like by the end they were just like, oh man, we got to stop him and get the emerald. All right, let's go do this plan. There were jokes, but they weren't, they didn't take you out of the action. It was very good.
Yeah, I will say they got to the end where it's like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles teaming up, and I was like bought in, like I believed it. I was like, yeah, these three guys, they're at a point where they're teaming up. Like it felt like they established a rapport decently that I was like, I didn't have to just think about the games and how this always happens. It was like, these three characters specifically in this movie, I can see it.
Yeah, they painted them with the right brushes in terms of, besides just being different colors, painting brushes, being like They really went like, this one is this guy, and this one is this guy, and feels like they had a couple of character traits written down for each one. Brave, dumb, punches, mean. And they really stuck to that in a way that you didn't need to do a ton of work to explain what all of their deal was, because after spending a couple minutes, you got that. So then you were able to, I don't know, just like to have them play around with the other characters. And yeah, they felt like they had personalities by the end. I agree. And they all landed like Spider-Man, all three of them next to each other. And I was like, cool. This is good.
And yet, when it happened in the Atom Project, you were like, ugh.
That's true. That was actually bad then. We need more Atom in this movie.
It's funny you say that, Nando, because, like, when that was happening at the end, Michelle, like, leaned over to me and was like, oh my god, they're doing Sonic Heroes, because that was, like, one of her favorite Sonic games, was Sonic Heroes. And it's like, I guess this probably does, like, hit there for some people, like, depending on, like, what Sonic game, like, you really liked or enjoyed. Like, some of the stuff probably hits pretty well. You don't have to just be a kid for it to hit, so...
Oh man, actually, speaking of Sonic Heroes, the one tiny little moment of them working together that I loved is when Knuckles does the throwing Sonic as a ball at an enemy thing.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, that's cool. Like, it's not even like a big thing. It's just while they're running, they do that, and it was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they really got creative with how all those characters kind of, work together. I really liked Sonic and Tails on the plane. How like, I mean, that was something that I guess we did see in a lot of the trailers, was something involving a plane that Tails flies. But I did enjoy seeing the plane for the first time in the scene it's in and going like, oh, that's the plane. That's what we're going to get in that soon. So that was nice.
Now that I think about it, speaking of the plane and Knuckles' ability to glide, that was a very missed opportunity, because they're all three of them are on the plane and Knuckles just like trust falls off of it in like a badass move. He could be like, all right, Fox, Sonic, Fox, Hedgehog, I'll see you down there. And he just like goes off and like glides down, and they're like, huh, he could do that.
Yeah.
And like that would have just been like a good way to
What's he doing
have that
to
happen.
fly? I don't know. It's just a lot of his stuff. It just kind of seems like he wants to do it and then he could do it. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Probably in his shoes. What else do we got? I don't know. What do we think of Eggman? I mean, we already talked about that we liked him. I like how, I would say, one thing I do like about him that I don't quite understand, it's so funny. I like that in this movie, right, he's working with Knuckles, and you could, he's trying to fuck over Knuckles. That's clear from the jump. But I also kind of like that he's not trying to fuck over his assistant. He really...
Yeah, he's like cool with Stone, yeah.
Yeah, he likes having him around, and he's mad because he doesn't know the machines, but he doesn't throw him out of the thing and do it. He just like goes like, excuse me, I'm going to do the tapping things. And then, yeah, I don't know, I like their relationship a lot. I don't give a shit about the character
him with
at all.
him.
But yeah.
When he's like, take me with you. And he does, instead of like vaporizing him. Like, yeah. It's cool when a villain is like at least cool to their minion.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, all right. They're not a total monster.
What'd you think of his... I think Jim Carrey... I love Jim Carrey. Except for all of his weird personal stuff or whatever.
I was going to say, I love Jim Carrey. My favorite thing about him is that he's anti-vaccine.
Yeah, I like it when he's quiet and he does the movies and then doesn't tell me anything else. But...
I like when he says that he would have just like beat up Will Smith right there on the spot.
Oh, yeah,
he was there.
I like it when he does paintings of like Sarah Huckabee Sanders and says like ugly on them or whatever. I also like when he makes videos for Emma Stone. You guys remember that? I was talking to somebody about this the other day. He like made a video. This was like right after he broke up with Jenny McCarthy. He made a video. It was like to Emma Stone. It was like front facing like he was like just looking at a webcam being like, Emma Stone is so wonderful and so beautiful or something. It was very weird. She was an adult, so it wasn't like weird in that way. But it was just...
He wasn't full on draking it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a strange dude. But I just love like that scene where Knuckles shows up at the house for the first time and Robotnik, but where they have that fight where there's one bit where Jim Carrey as Eggman, like, they come in the house, and Knuckles, I think this would happen, like, punches Sonic through a wall or something, and Jim Carrey, Eggman, like, snakes his head down into the space the wall made and says some line, and then, like, snakes around to another part of the house, says another line. Like, he's just so good at this physical thing. I know he keeps retiring, and whatever. Nobody should be forced to work forever. But, He's a talented guy that I don't think we have too many of, and he should be forced to work forever, I guess is what I'm saying.
He should be forced at gunpoint to keep working until he's dead.
Yeah. Even after that, too. Like, use the deep faking. Make him the new Tarkin or something. Just don't...
Once we perfected deepfake technology, Nando, no actor is ever going to work again. It's just going to be deepfakes forever.
Exactly. I think he was good. I like this look. I like this little mustache. Great movie. What else? What do we think of the final battle? Or any other action beats that we liked?
I really liked the final scene. The only one I could remember was like the snowboarding, which was fine. I don't know, no notes, but didn't love it. But I don't know how that would be improved. I did think the final, like the climax movie, the final battle was really good. It felt very Sonic the Hedgehog, and like to be fair, snowboarding is also very Sonic the Hedgehog for whatever reason, because he's like an esports X Games guy.
Because he's radical and he's 90s and cool, you know.
Yeah, he's the cool Mario.
Yeah, and that's great.
But yeah, for me, I the ending, like the final battle thing, was like really awesome. What about you guys?
I think the snowboarding scene was pretty cool. I like that they all snowboarded. I thought the line where he was like, "Oh, the Winter Soldier's here." I remember seeing it in a trailer and going like, But then I was like, he really is his Winter Soldier, kind of, because he does that move where he throws Sonic, like throws it at him, and it throws like himself at Knuckles, and Knuckles catches it and is like, ugh. That's like what Winter Soldier does with the shield. So that was fine. It's also crazy. What were you gonna say?
You finish.
Oh, all I had was, it's crazy that a kids movie about Sonic the Hedgehog in the year of our Lord 2022 or whatever is referencing the Winter Soldier as an idea, and everybody knows what that means. That's so weird, you know? Like, what world are we living in where like adults, just random adult, like, you know, my mom knows that Moon Knight is a thing. It's just crazy, the world we live in. It's weird. But
I was going to say,
good point, Nando.
I really liked the temple scene because it's the part that felt the most like just a Sonic level.
Mm-hmm.
Like both first Robotnik and Knuckles, and then Sonic himself going through all the crazy traps and whatever in the temple. It was like, yeah, this could be just like a Sonic level. Like it feels the most like the video game out of anything so far.
And the aesthetic was very like it had an aesthetic that matched Sonic and their kind of deal in a way that only the Mushroom World has, and like I guess Sonic's home world. Like it was the first time they haven't shoved Sonic into the real world, and that was good. Yeah. I loved actually that the finale took place in the light of day. What a great idea that all movies should have.
But yeah, Nando, if it's not dark out, how will the Morbius and his rival Milo have the worst looking, most confusing action scene I've ever seen? If it was bright out, I might have understood a single thing that happened.
Well, yeah, how will they hide all the dodgy CGI with the fact that it's like looking at I don't know, a black thing? I'm out of ideas. What's black, you guys? A bowling ball. It's like looking at a bowling ball.
More like an 8-ball, I think, because a bowling ball can be any color.
That's true. Bowling balls very frequently not black. 16-pounders, I guess, is probably blackest ones. Two other things, I guess, and I wish I could say speaking of black, but I can't. That's going to be the next thing. What do we think of the end in terms of what happened with Sonic and like the whole ending bit?
Like the reveal.
The reveal. Like his before the credits, but like the whole
him turning into Supersonic.
That's it. Yeah. What did you think of that?
Loved it. Yeah, there was a kid. So, and I didn't mind this. Like again, I will always take genuine enthusiasm. So it was like the whole thing where the Master Emerald breaks into the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and like the kid saw from a mile away. It's like, oh my god, Supersonic. And I was like, that's cool. Also, like, how does a 6-year-old know? Like, are they still doing like Sonic things where like the kid can see it coming that like a mile away? But like, I guess if he's here for the movie. But I thought that was cool. Like, I mean, not the kid thing, the Supersonic thing that happened.
I imagine Smash is probably where they know that from if they play Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Which is why I wish when he turned into Supersonic, he made that like high-pitched whine he makes when he... Only in the Gen 3 where he showed up, where he would get his ultimate and just go, wah! I was hoping that he would do that, but instead he was quiet. Boo.
See, I thought it was awesome. I thought it looked good. It felt very, I will say that they're like, look, Dragon Ball Z hasn't really gotten to this space first, so we're going to make it look like a Super Saiyan in this movie, and they can come for our asses later, because it felt very Super Saiyan.
They beat him to the punch, which is insane. Like,
yeah, right?
What? Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. That's all I got. Yeah, good for them.
Because, I thought the visual of that looked great. And, I wonder if you were an adult and you didn't really know that was coming because you didn't know what the deal was with those emeralds. I feel like, I think he killed James Marsden and Sonic in the... they look like smush. Right? I don't see how they got out of that one. That sucks if they died, but they didn't. What'd you think, Diggins?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to look at Super Sonic, and then he... just dismantling the machine with it and everything, and summoning a chili dog with his godlike powers.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
Cute. I like that as well. Yeah, it was fun. I loved just how big the Eggman mech was. I do think, and this may come off as my worst version of this ever, I don't think it's that hard to beat an Eggman mech if you're smart about it.
No, you have to explain right now. What's your plan?
Please.
It can only move in one direction. Like, I get the idea that it's hard to deal with the missiles. That is tough. And it's lasers and whatnot. But the idea that it can chase you, I find insane. Because if you go to the left or right, like, it's not good at turning around. You just dodge those feet pretty quickly. Like, I don't know. I know why they lost to it, because they had to get to where its foot was going. But I'm just saying, it's like the AT-AT walkers, where it's like a big giant machine, and it's like, when you take away the robots and like the lasers and stuff, the fact that it's a big giant machine is kind of a liability. That's all I'm saying.
Diggins, we need a list of things that Nando can beat.
This is easily the hardest one. I just think the movies make it harder than it actually is.
I mean, for Sonic in general, yes, very easy to run away from this giant robot. Like, super easy. But I think you're severely underestimating how big this robot is and how hard it is to run a distance of its single step.
So, it must be hard to run a distance of its single step, but it's like, it feels like the Prometheus problem, where it's like, just go around it. Or like, this thing can't pivot or turn around. Like, without really... putting in a lot of effort, it seems like, at least. So I feel like if you know where a foot is, you can easily run around that foot and just, like, you'll probably be fine. It's like, why it's so hard to, like, smush a spider and stuff.
Easily run around it.
Easily, yeah, any one of us. Well, like, and it's like, it's a big mech, and it's definitely very wide, but it's not wider than a human being can run in, like, 10 seconds.
Right.
Necessarily. I'm not positive about that, but I think you could do it.
But here's my thing,
10
Nando.
seconds?
Here's my thing, Nando. You're describing how you wouldn't die, but you're saying you could beat it. How would you beat it?
Well, same way you beat you trip it. You'd figure out some way to trip it. Like, you get a tether while it's distracted, fly it around run around the thing with it, and then you can trip it. I don't think I can kill, like, Eggman while inside it if he's powered by the Master Emerald, but I'm just saying, I don't think it's as big of a deal. This goes on the top of the list. Like, it's like, Invisible Man, I think I could definitely kill. Daredevil, I think I could take, because of his weakness. And this one, I think would be a real challenge, but I just think the movie's oversell it. I don't think Eggman should do it.
Oh my
it's
God.
not good for him. He should figure out something else.
I gotta say, really smart of Robotnik to build a redundant power system into the machine he makes with emerald magic, just in case he loses the emerald. Like, that, honestly, great forethought on that one.
And, like, lack of not as much hubris as you'd expect from that. It's just like, I'm probably gonna lose this, but I do still want to kill Sonic. I also like that Sonic, I like that Eggman wants power because he wants it, but he really wants it because he knows that's what he needs to kill Sonic. Like,
yeah. It's good motivation.
I didn't love the taint joke, but I did like the idea that you can, or not taint, what was it? Crotch? What did they call it?
I don't think it was taint.
No,
groin.
Nah, groin.
Was
yeah,
it groin?
that's what it was. Yeah. I didn't love the idea of oh, you are his groin. That felt very Drax, but I do like the idea that it's like, he just fucking hates you. and that's pretty much his whole deal.
Yeah.
That was good. Anything else about things within the movie?
I got a nitpick.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
It's weird that Knuckles is able to fight Sonic, who could go at supersonic speeds, but like couldn't see that car coming, man. That car just made Knuckles eat his lunch. So that's a nitpick, right?
Yeah.
Should be able to take that car down.
Also, like, it's funny because the Sonic animals, it's almost like how people describe wizards in the Harry Potter universe. It's just like, yeah, they're pretty dense. Like, they can fall from a big height and it won't kill them. It's not great for them, but they can survive it. It's like, yeah, Sonic, like, the way he falls off of that mech or falls off the bridge or whatever, you're like, that.
Yeah, it's true.
He's got to get caught by someone, right? And it's like, nah, he just bounces off the ground, but he's okay. Yeah, it's like they could take a car, they could survive a lot of stuff, which is cool, I guess. Yeah,
I think that's all I had about in the movie stuff.
Anything else within the movie that you had strong feelings about or want to bring up?
Good mustache.
Mustache was good, and I loved that the robot had a mustache. That was great. I loved that it was a tactical mustache, both fashionable and functional.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Stash
cute.
Smasher. Forgetting
Something
Stash
like that.
Whacker.
I think it's a Stash
Whacker.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was cute. Yeah, overall, solid movie. And then, credits that I like. Again, I think these credits are fun.
Yes.
I didn't like this song as much as the first one. I very much enjoyed the silly fucking song that manages to work in all the Sonic lyrics, but then also has real rappers do it. This one was fine, but wasn't quite the sweet spot. But what about the post-credit scene? Oh, yeah, they
Bet him.
Sonic, Knuckles. Yeah, what do we think of the post-credit scene?
Diggins.
So it starts like fine, it's Gun searching the rubble aftermath of the egg robo, being like, he's not here, but no one could have survived that. So Robotnik is coming back for the third one. But then someone mentions that they found a 50-year-old project hidden in his files. And we cut to some abandoned facility that's just been sitting around. And wouldn't you know it, sitting in a tube is everybody's favorite Sonic character, Fang the Weasel.
That would be
I'm
funny.
kidding. It's Bean the Dynamite.
It's the chameleon.
No. Obviously, I'm joking. Yes, it's SBO the chameleon. Obviously, it was just a joke, a little cut. No, guys, it was Blaze the cat.
Very good.
No, don't worry. No,
Big
that was a
the
joke.
cat, you fool.
No, well, there's two cats. Guys, those are both just jokes. Obviously, it was Marine the raccoon that was in there.
Ooh, that's a good one.
No, guys, I keep messing with you, but this time I'm for real. I swear, inside that tube was Bunny Rabbit.
Ooh.
Someone at Diggins' birthday party who listens to the podcast had said a thing about, sometimes I think the bits go on too long. But at least it's one of those times. I think this one is exactly the right length.
Yeah. In fact, the bits just got 5 minutes longer, whoever that was.
Yeah.
You are just... Every bit is going to be even longer.
Guys, I promise this is the end of the bit because inside the tube is Uncle Antoine.
Oh. What's the name of the one that's like Jesus?
Sonic?
Is it Jesus?
Yeah, the Jesus.
Yeah, right.
The white one. It's
like Silver the Hedgehog.
Oh, Silver
you guys, it's not whatever you said. You guys, come on, stop messing with our fine audience who doesn't like it when these bits go on too long. It's Silver the Hedgehog.
All right, guys, I'm going to clear this up. All right, so for those of you who might not be familiar with Sonic lore, who was in the tube, and this will make sense for some, it was actually the Archie Sonic character from the Archie comics. Now you're like, oh, what's the difference? Well, this Sonic actually is like really, really fast and can like move across time and shit like that. So yeah, I cannot wait for these movies to see the Archie comic Sonic in these movies.
Okay, guys, it's fine. It's time for us to finally stop messing around. Obviously, the person in the tube is a classic character. Made several appearances. Everybody loves. It was Ray the Squirrel, guys.
Oh my God, Diggins, you're wrong. Actually, you're so wrong because it was not Ray the Squirrel. It was another hedgehog who we all know and love. It was the original design Sonic from these movies in the tube, like Bizarro. We made a huge mistake. We kept one alive. The clone that didn't go right. What if that was it though? That would have been pretty funny.
All right, guys, stop messing around. Okay, the actual person who was in the tube was King Arthur. It was King Arthur was in the tube.
Oh, no, you guys. It was actually the wolf thing or whatever. That was one of the Sonics, right? We all love that.
No, guys, come on. Come on. We've got the bit's gone on too long. It's not funny anymore. We've got to tell them that the person in the tube was actually Breezy, the sexy female hedgehog from the cartoon.
Oh, you guys, you're wrong about that, actually. What it was Chris Pratt in the tube, who is going to be playing Sonic in the next one. They changed it. So it's a cool one with, like, he's making that smirk, like, you see on DreamWorks posters, so you know it's him. He's flossing
and he's chugging ice cold Coca-Cola.
Oh my God! They needed someone who could handle the level of SpawnCon that they're gonna try to bring together in the third movie. It's gonna be insane.
Guys, stop messing around. Okay, obviously, who was in the tube? It was Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic was in the tube. That would have made sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that wouldn't have been crazy.
I knew who it was, so I was like not expecting that, but the build-up, totally.
That's why would they be hiding the metal version of a creature they had not met yet in a government facility?
Why would they have made the one they did? Because they
knew it would be so powerful, because they knew that,
Yeah, there's something about hedgehogs. I don't know.
Okay, guys, okay. Listen, we've had a lot of fun here. We've had a lot of laughs. It's time for us to serious up here. Like, just shoot straight with the fine listeners who are definitely tired of this joke by now. Inside the tube.
It's gone on way too long.
Inside the tube was Vanilla the Rabbit, Cream's mom.
Diggins. All right.
Did you even say Cream yet?
Well, we already talked about Cream before. And
all right, that's fair.
So for people that haven't seen the movie, it's really what you see is it's those two guys from the Sonic commercials who make remember those? And they're like, I'm eating a hot dog in the Sonic drive-thru. It's them. Makes sense. Crossover, hot dogs, and Sonic word. So that's actually a good idea. I'm out of guys. Does anyone else have guys?
E101?
E101? Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's true.
I could keep going for a long time, but I feel like this is probably actually the end of this bit.
Okay, we did it. All right.
It's the end of the bit.
All right.
You guys, what we actually see is... Who is it, guys?
It's Mario.
It's Mario.
I did. Mario. So I talked to DJ on the phone the other day because I had to discuss our favorite show, new favorite show. And I said, like, I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's great. The post-credit scene, haven't seen that, but I hear it's what you kind of expect. And I said what it was, but I was like, but if it is Mario coming through a portal, like that Sonic opens up to, Mario World or something, and he's like, hey, it's me, Chris Mario Pratt. I'm here to help. That would have also blown my mind. But got to save that for the sequel. Honestly, I think we will get that in the sequel, probably. But
all right, so the next movie... So the next movie it's going to be... It's what Diggins said, right?
All those guys
Shadow...
Who?
Every single one we named.
Yeah.
Shadow is doing crimes, probably with a gun, because that was in one of the games, I think. I think Shadow had a gun.
A gun and a car. He doesn't need one, but he had it.
He'll be doing crimes. And be like, oh my god, this hedgehog, blah, blah, blah. It'll be like, Sonic, what are you doing? They'll meet. I think the next movie is probably just going to be Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, now that I think about it.
That would be great.
I hope that they have a moon base and they're going to blow up the Earth.
Please, 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 please. Such good source material. I think there'll be some kind of chase for the Chaos Emeralds. The Master Emerald will have some kind of MacGuffin. I think we're going to get like a lot of establishment. Like, again, things they should have done in the post-credit scene for this movie, they'll do at the beginning of next movie with like, since we last, it's been 2 years and all these things have happened, blah, 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 blah. Gun is finally off my back, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, the events of the movie will ensue. Like, that's my guess of that's where we go next, is like the next logical conclusion.
Yeah, I think if I were in charge, the only change I would make to that is I would make and like this wouldn't, they'd never do it. But you know what? They would though. If it was Sony, we should make sure Sony gets their hands on this franchise. I would make a solo Shadow movie, super edgy, Daredevil from 2004 vibes, and just like Shadow's really, really somber, what's that word you guys use to describe anime characters that kind of are this? Remember this?
Edgy?
No, it's specific. It's like a loving version of that. Like
Tsundere?
Yeah, I want that. A whole movie of that. But yeah, with Shadow, the Hedgehog, which I think we also have to ask, who will play Shadow the Hedgehog? Besides Ben Schwartz with an accent, which would be also very fun. But who's left? Because Idris Elba would have been a pretty good Shadow the Hedgehog, too.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
So they can't do another British guy. Like, that's out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could swing it, but I doubt they will. It's probably going to be Chris Pratt, honestly.
That would be amazing. I want... Oh, gosh. This is actually really tough. I don't know, Dickens, do you have any thoughts?
It's going to be Kirk Thornton, the current voice actor for Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, silly. They'll get the current voice actor for, like, Rouge or, like, one of the
yeah, we got a secondary voice actor. I could see... Here's what I could see. Because I do think part of it has to be... Or part of what I like about Shadow is he is also on the younger side, kind of like Sonic. Like, he is like a...
Right.
An edgy teenager.
I got it. It's going to be Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, I could see it.
I think I know where Nando's going.
I was going to say, I think, like, and I'm kind of thinking, too, in terms of, like, when they cast Idris Elba in this, like, the internet was like, oh, my God, amazing, so much fun, I can't wait. Like, a weird choice that would get the internet kind of buzzing. I know this wouldn't happen, but I could see, like, Timothy Chalamet showing up.
I was going to say Timothy Chalamet.
Really? Yeah.
I was going to say Timothy. Yeah, when you said teenager, I'm like Timothy Chalamet. I
think he's our pedigree, like, our highest level of angsty blue teenager. Like, we get a Dune level performance out of him. I would like that. And then we could do a whole movie where he, like, has a little girlfriend or whatever and stuff. It'd be great. And then you could, if we did a Shadow movie, you could introduce, like, Rouge, Big the Cat, some of the supporting players in that. That would be fun. But yeah, I don't know. Probably be Tom Holland, actually. Well, no, I don't know.
He's gonna soon become like the Chris Pratt of, like, voice acting.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, they passed the torch in the Onward movie to each other, and they were like, it'll only be us from now on.
Yeah, right.
Kill Ben Schwartz. Oh, what about what's his name? Mark what the heck is his name? Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
That would be insane. No, I think the idea of, like, I do like the idea of, like, going younger. I mean, like, or someone who could do that, right? Like, Ben Schwartz isn't, like, exactly young, but, like, he's, like, really captured this really well, I think. But I think you're right. I think Timothy Chalamet is such, like, a name, and everyone would be like, oh my God, what a cool thing, blah, 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 blah. Like, I could totally see that.
Plus, I bet he's a gamer. He did the Xbox controller thing, which means he's probably aware of Shadow.
Love this.
Yeah, I think you could get him to be like, this will be fun, trust me, kid. And he'd be like, you know what, the last one of these is pretty good. Let's do it. What about you, Diggins? Who would you cast?
Who would I cast as Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Who's got the most, like, grizzled, I'm a edgy, edgelord kind of character sort of voice? Who's the most...
Josh Brolin. Just like Thanos again. You know, you
no, but it's all tuned back.
It's more like your Timothy Chalamet's a good one, but I need someone who's, like, darker, you know? More of a bad boy.
I don't want to... I don't even want to say his name, but I was going to say a certain other Batman we know very well from movies as of late.
That's true.
Is the kind of sexy bad boy guy.
I would love to hear his take on Shadow, actually. I would love a Robert Pattinson Shadow.
Yeah, that would be fun. He'd probably be pretty good, too, because, yeah, he's got a fair amount of range. And
guys, obviously, I can't believe I didn't think of it until now. Tom Hardy.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Go.
And just do Venom again. Like, it's like pretty much that. Just because he is, like, what is Shadow's origin? Experiment? Gone wrong?
Yeah. Okay, if we're going full on every video game tied together, what's eventually revealed to be his entire backstory, is that what you want right now?
Absolutely. In like 3 sentences, or like, whatever the most simple version of that is.
50 years ago, he was created as a genetic experiment by Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, using both cutting-edge science and alien blood.
That is Venom, then. We got this.
Boom.
But is he a real hedgehog that's been modified, or is he grown in a petri dish?
I think he's, like, grown.
Okay. Still, that's pretty much what we said. Yeah, Tom Hardy would be great.
Yeah, I would love that so much.
Yeah. And it would be a crazy cast, like, by the end of this. What Idris Elba, Jim Carrey, Tom Hardy.
Sonic might be like, look, we can do the Marvel thing. we have enough shit here and like enough crazy characters. Like we'll just start doing the Marvel thing, but with Sonic.
I would watch some of these spin-offs. Like, I know we're joking, but like, I think a Shadow spin-off would work. I think you could do a spin-off of just like the zany forest animals, like the third Sonic Heroes team with the Bumblebee and the crocodile and shit. And then you bring them all together in the end game. They can even go through portals. It's so easy.
Rings. They already have the rings.
Yeah. Oh, man. Maybe next time. All in all, a good time had by all. Take your kids.
Yes.
You'll have a pretty solid time. You guys have anything to recommend to the fine people? You want to get to our classic segment?
Classic segment. Love this classic segment.
Right. DJ, you're third. Dickens, you first. No, I'm just kidding. DJ, you go first, as always.
As always. All right, so I got a quick recommendation here. So I can't remember if we mentioned this on the podcast or if like we had talked about this off air. But there's a severe lack of just like panel shows that exist, and that the only ones that we could point to are bad or British. But just like a severe lack of like American panel shows. So this probably won't like scratch any itch for you, Nando, but there's a good show I heard about on HBO that I decided to try out called On the Record with Bob Costas. So Bob Costas, famous sports like announcer, commentator, just like sports guy who has had some pretty thoughtful things on different sports, has like a sports panel show where they get like different sports people and talk about different sports topics. And it's like pretty good. Like, unfortunately some of the sports people are like the reprehensible sports people that they get on to be fair and balanced. But like most of the sports people they get on are good for like different difficult issues they talk about. Like they got into like a really nuanced discussion about the Deshaun Watson stuff and with some of the like transgender athletes in sports and stuff like that, and like really tough topics, and they get into some pretty deep nuanced conversations, and not all the people are terrible. So I really like that, and then that led me to find another sports show on HBO called Game Theory with Bomani Jones, who is in ESPN. Yeah, have you seen this one, Nando?
No, but I've heard about it. Like I've heard people talking about it. It's good.
I like it. Yeah, it's like copy the John Oliver thing, but for sports, where it's like news of the week, long piece. And then, like kind of a bit, but it's pretty good. It's funny, and I like his take. He did a really good thing on crypto. So if I were to recommend a specific episode, the second episode I think is really good. He also does a fun like man on the street segment where he like interviews people and stuff like that, which is like pretty good. But yeah, he talks about crypto and how like sports is invading, or like crypto, how it's invading sports, and how like when certain things go into certain areas, you can kind of tell like, oh wait, I think the grift is coming. It talks about like a lot of the language of crypto.
No, that doesn't sound like crypto. I think this Bomani Jones doesn't know what he's talking about.
But like the language with like do your own research, and like that's a warning signal if you've ever heard that term before. So he kind of like the intersectionality of sports, which I like. So I've been watching that show, and I think it's pretty good. So yeah, On the Record with Bob Costas on HBO, but also Game Theory on HBO, I think is really, really good. So yeah, those are my two heavy sports-based recs for this week.
All right, Diggins, do you have anything to plug to or to recommend? Sorry, I got that out of order for some reason. Diggins, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. A friend of mine gave me a Vibio game for my birthday, which is actually technically in early access right now, so it's not quote unquote finished. But
Marvel's Avengers. I'm still working on it. They're almost done.
They'll get there one day, I believe. No. This came out recently. And it's kind of a roguelike, sort of like Hades. But without the narrative part of it, there's no real story, at least not right now. But it's called Vampire Survivors. It's a game. It's very styled off of like the 2D Castlevania games, where you're like some random like vampire hunter with all these different weapons. You might have a holy water or a whip or a cross or an axe, but that's just what you start with. And then there's just wave after wave of enemy coming after you, trying to kill you, and you've got to fight them all off. But the way you fight them off is actually, depending on what weapon you have, your character just automatically, periodically shoots out that weapon, and it acts the way it does. So the only control you have is you just move around. And enemies drop experience points. You pick them up. Every time you level up, you get a chance to either take a new weapon in addition to your old one, up to 6 total weapons, or upgrade an existing weapon, or pick up a passive ability. So, like, as you get more and more experience, you could be throwing out, like, 5 different weapons, like, constantly that all do these different things and are dealing huge damage. Ideally, you are, because the enemies get tougher and tougher over time, and if your damage output doesn't go up at pace with them, then you're going to get overwhelmed. But yeah, it's a really addictive little game. It's just like, it has that Hades thing of every time you do a run, you're like, oh man, I bet I could do just a little bit better, you know? And there's all different characters with different abilities, and you can buy permanent upgrades, which it's very generous about. You can at any time just refund all of your upgrades and then just buy new ones with the money that you've earned up until that point. So, like, you can play around with different builds. You're not, like, locked into anything once you've spent money on it. Not money. It's not a microtransaction game. It's all in-game like, coins you collect, to be clear.
That sounds good. I like microtransactions. They're good. That's like, you're just saying all kinds of nice things about Marvel's Avengers or whatever. It's a good game, and it has no microtransactions.
It's also only $3 on Steam right now, so very cheap.
Oh, nice. Well, definitely got it now. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, so listen, it's a really addictive, fun little game, and I mean, honestly, you're definitely going to get $3 worth of entertainment out of it, even if you don't end up loving it as much as I do. So, why not? Am I right?
I can't wait.
So that's my rec. Nando, do you have anything to rec to the fine people?
I do, and I just want to say real quick before we start, because of the order we're recording these in. You know what? I not a fan of Mel Gibson. I don't like him, and I haven't seen Father Stew. But if I were to trick DJ in a second or two, I don't know, maybe he'd forget and he would say the opposite of that, and that would make him look like a fool. Anyway, I wanted to recommend, speaking of terrible people, I watched a documentary this week. Well, first of all, I finished Severance. Season 1 is done, and it's the best. It is one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen, right up there with After Party in this year, The Watchmen show, Stranger Things 1, like, just absolutely excellent. And I've seen a lot of people finally starting to watch it, so I'm very excited about that. What's the other thing I was going to say? Oh, there's a new show on Dropout, that is basically for people trying to, speaking of panel shows, and they really are the only people that seem to be getting this right, but like, it's a panel show where it's 4 people and a host, and the idea is that it's called Dirty Laundry. They all write down a secret and try to figure out whose secret it is, so it's a little bit like that Would I Lie to You game, but not quite. And it's just funny because they're all funny, so I'd recommend that. But my big rec, the thing that I think people may have seen this week, I watched a first part of a documentary on a figure that some people are probably familiar with, but most probably are not, named Jimmy Savile. Diggins, have you ever heard of this man?
Jimmy Savile?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So he's a British figure. So from what I can gather, he seems like he's kind of like if you mixed, and obviously this is going to set off some red flags, but Bill Cosby back in the day, kind of your kids say the darndest things Bill Cosby, with the energy of Robin Williams. And this person was a popular kind of comedian, radio personality turned like TV presenter who had an incredibly popular show where he like granted kids wishes, like a Make-A-Wish kind of thing, but on a show. And it was everyone's favorite thing. He was friends with like all the politicians, and it was huge. You'll never guess what happens to him. Well, I mean, maybe you will, but
abducted by aliens.
I haven't gotten to the second documentary. I think I know what happens, but it could be that too. But it's in 2 parts. So the first part of this, which is like an hour-ish long, is just kind of how he got to the top and kind of what the legend of this dude was. And you can see, and they never say why they're even making the documentary. It's clear from the people, and like they never say what the turn is going to be. It's clear from all the interviews, everybody's like, oh yeah, this is the time I interviewed him. Haven't watched it since because it brings back terrible memories. Or haven't watched it since everything came out. But you get, and there's a couple times where he does something specifically where you're like, that's really weird. But it's interesting because if you don't know quite what the story was, and like me, although I had heard of him before, but a lot of this is fresh to you, it is like kind of putting it together. Like, what did this guy do? And then the second part of the documentary is all the stuff he did, and it's also crazy. So I think he is an interesting figure that maybe, I don't know if we can't learn anything from him, but it's like it should be someone that we all know because of just how high profile they were and the shit they were doing. So I think it's very interesting. It's on Netflix, and I really enjoyed it. The part I have seen. I also watched on Netflix that show that DJ I'm sure will bring up, and I'll probably say very nice things about it in a couple of seconds because I haven't recorded that bit yet. But the Ultimatum is so funny, and it's the best reality dating show. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that in plugs. Speaking of that, DJ, you got anything to plug to the fine people?
Yeah, and we're definitely doing this at like the plug instance.
Yeah,
probably.
So DJ, how much
yeah.
did you love Nando and I's Rex?
Plug. Yeah.
Oh man, those are some awesome recommendations. I really, really appreciate those recommendations.
What were your favorite things about them?
Probably the detail and specificity. And the genuineness you brought to the recommendations.
Do you agree with my take about a certain actor?
Yeah, 100% unequivally.
Interesting. I didn't know you were also a Mel Gibson stan. I thought I was the only one still on the Gibson train, but DJ's back. Wow, incredible.
Father Sue really took me.
Yeah,
Father Sue really grabbed me.
Such a fun
It's Holy
performance
Week.
by two normal people that everyone likes.
Two normal guys who've definitely never committed any hate crimes.
No, not at all. They have not said any words, any specific words, even in private. You can't prove it.
It's good to hear about God from people with diverse backgrounds and who have done some reprehensible actions. That's what
right.
people want to hear.
That's right.
So I'm glad you wrecked Father Stu, Nando.
I couldn't not. You know, it's just all anybody's talking about this week.
Yeah, so this is probably really weird. But check out Roses and Rejections podcast where we talk about this week's episodes of Ultimatum, which I definitely watched by now, and
God.
boy, are they crazy.
It's the best show. He's right, though. It is such a good show. People
So
on
listen
it
to
are
Roses and Rejections and
terrible.
you can-
I would be surprised if Mel Gibson's in the second season. That just seems like he'd fit right in. It's the only way they can up the ante from Zay and Caleb
God,
or whatever.
Celebrity Ultimatum, I would die. I would die.
It's the ultimatum that he has to stop being anti-Semitic.
It's the opposite. He gives, because that's how the ultimatums all work. It's always like the kind of manipulative one being like, I want you to do my... Well, actually, that's not always what it is. I'm thinking about it just in Caleb terms, but his ultimatum would be like, Hollywood, I want you to let me come back and be a big star. And by the end, Hollywood would propose to Mel Gibson because they're tricked into it, you know? Him, Roman Polanski, Bill Cosby. Is Bill Cosby still alive? I don't know. All of them.
Yeah.
The whole crew.
Not only is he alive, he's not in jail.
Yeah.
God, anybody have eyes on him right now? We gotta find that dude. Anyway, the whatever the stupid show is, it's great. It really is funny and crazy, and it gets right to the point.
So check out at Roses and Rejections on Twitter, and check out our podcast to listen to our crazy discussion about it.
Great. Diggins, do you have anything to plug to the fine people?
Just my usuals. You know, I got my newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com, and I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/thisisanodname. DJ, of course, loves those things, loves both of those things. Couldn't recommend them more highly. If he disagreed, he would be saying something right now, so you know it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. And DJ, I think you'd said this before, but I think this is a good time to kind of... DJ is going to... you said you're going to subscribe to Diggins' stream at the highest possible level, hundreds of dollars or something a month. And if you're not going to do that, I guess now would be the time to tell us. But I think that was something you're going to do. So that's great.
Wow. That's so generous of you, DJ. And also very easily checked by going to look at my stream and see if I get any subscribers. So
That's
definitely
true.
something
So
people
everyone
can
will know.
check to make sure that happened.
Hey, DJ, want to do that for me too? No. Okay, whatever. I guess he is still here because that's what he says. That sounds like him.
Yeah, that was just DJ's voice. I don't know why it wouldn't not sound like him.
Yeah. As far as plugging is concerned, I've got videos and stuff. One coming out soon, casting the giant-sized X-Men, and then maybe one about something else, like before the end of the month. But we will see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What are we doing next week, guys?
I think we settled on the Fantastic Secrets of Dumbledore.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But
yeah. My reaction also.
That's what we're going to be doing, so that'll be interesting. I can't wait to see how it goes. It'll probably be not so great, but we will see it, so that'll be something. Yeah, very exciting. Cool. Well, until next week, I have been at Nando View Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day, here the whole time.
And I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.